Kalamazoo Wings Hockey on the air is brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beer, and Kalamazoo Beer Distributing, La Quinta Motor Inns, Wolverine Lawn and Garden Equipment, Vicksburg Chrysler Plymouth, Pizza Chef, the official pizza of Kalamazoo Wings televised hockey, Kelsey Credit Union, Kalamazoo Tire Brokers, Best Ford Lincoln Mercury, Pro Golf Discount, Kalamazoo Air Zoo, Overhead Door, All Phase Electric, Play It Again Sports, Gilmore's Department Stores, Handelstein and Gift Shop, Landmark Jewelers, Wilkins Auto Body, Lake Doster and Wallenwood Springs Golf Clubs, J&B Professional Tree Service, and Foreign Auto Parts.
Hi again, everybody, and welcome to the Cincinnati Gardens International Hockey League action tonight. The Kalamazoo Wings and the Cincinnati Cyclones. My name's Mike Miller. I'm along with Neil Meadmore, our fourth game of our six-game television package. And tonight, the Kalamazoo Wings take on the Cyclones. Eighth meeting between these two clubs in the 1992-93 campaign. Cincinnati won the first two. The Wings have won the last five. And Neil, we certainly don't expect an easy hockey game here tonight. Cincinnati has played 26 one-goal hockey games. They are in last place overall in the league, but they certainly have been competitive.
Yeah, Mike, I think Cincinnati has a lot of pride in themselves, and a lot of former Kalamazoo Wings. Darcy Norton, Mario Thayer, Al Tour, Craig Cox are in the lineup tonight, so I think you're going to see Cincinnati coming out there and playing a lot more physical game than they have in the past. And like I said, Mike, they've lost 11 in a row, and they got something to prove. Speaking
of losses in a row, the Kalamazoo Wings have lost 7 consecutive games on the road. They'll try to turn that around tonight. Neil, is it too early for the Kalamazoo Wings to start, I don't want to say panic button, but is it crunch time for them? Of course, the Wings in the middle of this battle now with the Indianapolis Ice for the final playoff berth in the Eastern Conference. It's time to get it in gear, I have to believe.
Yeah, Mike, you can't just all of a sudden turn it on and off. I think Phil Inglis got the guys playing fairly well and good, decent hockey here, but you just can't turn it on and off. And right now, you've only got, I think, 28, 30-odd games left in the season here, and you got to get it going right away and get into a groove.
Neil told me before tonight's game, speaking of physical hockey, a guy that played the game very physically himself, Neil Meadmore, you expect that to be a key in tonight's hockey game?
Well, I think initially right now, Mike, Kalamazoo's lacking that department right now with a few of the guys out. Kevin Evans not playing tonight. Cincinnati's got a few guys, Al Tour, Scott Shaughnessy, Craig Cox, that can play the physical style of hockey. And I expect Cincinnati to come out there and for the first probably 5-10 minutes of the period, just come out there and crashing and banging.
I'd like to remind everybody this pregame show is brought to you in part by our good friends at Gilmore's Department Store.
Consider the style, the price you want. Consider to please. Smiling faces in friendly places. We're making saving a breeze.
Gilmore's has taken your interest to heart and reduced theirs by 44%. Gilmore's Charge Card now has only a 10% annual interest rate. Go ahead, take advantage of the savings and enjoy one of the lowest interest rates around.
Mike Miller, Neil Meadmore, back with you here at the Cincinnati Gardens, the historic Cincinnati Gardens, built in 1947, a building that looks a lot like Maple Leaf Gardens. Any other thing, Neil, that stands out in your mind about tonight's game? What are the Wings going to have to do to walk out of here with a win and snap this 7-game road losing streak?
Well, I think, Mike, just stay away from needless penalties right now. Again, I expect Cincinnati to come out there and play a physical style play and not fall into Cincinnati's game plan. Cincinnati has some very capable and experienced NHL players that are playing here. Brian Lawton, Ellen Heppel, he's played for Toronto. Claude Vilgrain down from the New Jersey Devils. So they're loaded with talent. I'm surprised they just haven't won as many games as they have. Like I said before, they've lost 27 one-goal games, and looking forward to a good game tonight.
The goaltenders tonight, Mike Torkia, back from the Minnesota North Stars, will be the goaltender for the Kalamazoo Wings. And the goaltender tonight for the Cincinnati Cyclones, a guy that played for Claude Noel in Dayton in the East Coast Hockey League. We'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later. We'll be going head-to-head tonight in the goaltending department. Speaking of physical hockey, before tonight's game, Scotty Bud Melvin had a chance to talk to a very physical player in his career, Dennis Desrosiers. We'll be talking to Dennis after these words.
There we were, a jillion miles outside of the hood. The bus got a flat, got no jack. Homie's gonna cut his grass. What the?
4.5. 4.5. 600. Sold.
The man's round sales, but he's got no beat.
Pardon me.
That was there. Huh?
Yo, MC Cow Seller. Bud, fresh.
The Kalamazoo Wings Television Hockey Network is brought to you by Pizza Chef. Pizza Chef gourmet pizzas are made with only wholesome ingredients and offer pizza lovers a healthy and satisfying difference. Tasty subs, tossed salads, and delicious garlic bread round out our tempting menu. Pizza Chef, the pizza you can score with.
Driving one state, made me score!
Visit Pizza Chef at 4312 South Westnedge, next to Blockbuster Video.
Thanks a lot, Mike. We're here with the head coach of the Cincinnati Cyclones, Dennis Desrosiers. Some of the K-Wing fans might remember him with some of his tangles with Leonard Candia, guys like Alvin White back in the late 70s. Now they'll know him as head coach of the Cincinnati Cyclones. How are you guys doing so far this year? Tell some of the fans back in Kalamazoo who might not know.
Well, we're in a little bit of a rebuilding program. Of course, I think most fans realize the fact that we moved from the East Coast Hockey League to the International Hockey League this year. And it's been definitely a tedious rebuilding program, and we're holding up the league. We're on the bottom of it right now, but what we're doing is trying to build up a program that'll be respectable as Kalamazoo is, and more along the lines actually of a Fort Wayne with the independent situation that we're operating in right now. And it's possible, as you can see by the San Diego, Milwaukee, Fort Wayne entries that are independent. And we're trying to build a base and be a competitive hockey team for the years to come.
Now, is it what you expected as far as a coach of what it was going to be like, at least the first half of the season with you guys here in the eye?
Well, actually, no. As a coach, I expected a lot more. But you got to realize that this is a tough year to be building an independent team. I think the minor leagues are as tough now as they've ever been. Primarily, one of the reasons is that the NHL cut back the number of contracts they carry at the National Hockey League level. Also, with the Eastern European kids coming over that have been drafted for the last few years, the ones that end up in the National League send a player that would be in the National League to the minors, and also some of them ended up in the minors, and they're very good hockey players. So I think the minor leagues are probably as strong this year as you're ever going to see them.
Now, there are some former K-Wings on your club, Mario Tyre, Cox. I'm probably going to forget somebody. Tell me.
Altour.
Okay, and tell some of the Wings fans about some guys on your club that might give the Wings problems.
Well, right now, I think our big line is that you have to look for is Brian Lawton, who was a former Minnesota North Star draft pick. He's centering Paul Lawless on the left side, who is a former National Hockey Leaguer, and Kevin Kerr, who has been an International League, American League hockey player for the last 4 or 5 years. That's probably our most productive line at this point. We've just gotten a lot of those players. In fact, all of them have not been with us all year long. Kerr being with us the longest, about 15 games. Lawton and Lawless somewhat less than that, but we put them together, and that's a very productive line right now. Claude Vilgrain, who played last year in New Jersey, is with us. He's playing on a line with Darcy Norton, who's a former Kalamazoo player, and right now their right winger's hurt, Mike Bognerchuk, so I'm improvising there, but that's usually a pretty good line too. So we've got pretty decent talent. We're just not very deep. We've got a little bit of a lack for depth.
A lot of people might not know this. You are leading the league in attendance here in Cincinnati, first year in the IHL. Are you surprised by that?
No, I'm not at all, because we led all of minor hockey last year from the East Coast standpoint, and what's amazing about it, I guess, is the fact that we are a last place team and we are still leading the league. But our fans here in Cincinnati are very loyal fans. They enjoy it. They come out. We've got a good building to play in. It's very conducive to hockey. It's patterned after the old Maple Leaf Gardens. And it's just a good place to watch hockey. There's no bad seats in it. It's loud. They get into it. They have a good time. So I'm not surprised by the attendance at all. We've got great fan support.
Now, you mentioned, of course, Cincinnati sitting at the bottom of the IHL, but what are the keys for your team, at least the rest of the way, the second half, as you see it for the rest of the season?
Well, we just have to play as hard as we can. You know, our playoff hopes are dim, but we're not giving up on it. We still would like to catch Kalamazoo and Indy. But we just have to play hard every night, and this is one of the key games we have to have, is a game against Kalamazoo, and we're just going to go out, play hard every night, and try and keep our attitude positive.
Head coach of the Cincinnati Cyclones, Dennis Desrosiers, we appreciate your time. Good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
We're coming right back. Opening face-off here on the Kalamazoo Wings television network.
Mike Miller and Neil Meadmore back at the Cincinnati Gardens. I'd like to remind everybody that interview with Dennis Desrosiers and Scotty Bud Melvin brought to you by Pizza Chef, the official pizza of Kalamazoo Wings televised hockey.
For a snow thrower that will handle any snowfall, we suggest a Toro Power Curve. They're lightweight, easy to handle, and throw snow up to 30 feet. So they're perfect for those times when it really comes down. See the complete line of Toro Power Curve snow throwers at these Toro dealers.
That is where it's at.
WFAT at 96.5 FM.
WFAT is Kalamazoo's only radio station for good times and great oldies from the 60s.
Wake up, hey Susie, wake up, come on and see about me.
Tune in WFAT at 96.5 and become a
Fat Cat.
We've got the best 50s and 60s rock and lots of roll.
Fat 96.5.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Cincinnati Gardens in the northern portion of Cincinnati, Ohio. Mike Miller along with Neil Meadmore, and in the background here you see the fanfare and certainly the show that's put on by the Cincinnati Cyclone organization before each and every Cincinnati Cyclone game. And think what you want to think about it, but there's one fact we have to throw out. They played 28 home games. Their average attendance is 8,912, the best in the International Hockey League and the best in minor pro hockey. So they certainly promote it, Neil Meadmore. It's a little bit different, but they love it here in Cincinnati.
It's got to be exciting, Mike, for the players to come out every game, knowing that the fans are there to support them, even though they're having kind of a tough luck season so far. But it's encouraging for the players to know that the fans are behind them 100%.
Now they're introducing the starting lineups, and I'll give them to you right now. First of all, for the visiting Cincinnati Cyclones, in goal will be Sandy Gallupo. On defense, the former Fort Wayne Comet, Tom Flickel. Also on defense for Cincinnati, Alan Heppel. Up front will be Kerr, Wallace, and Brian Lawton. That certainly will be a big line. I think I said Tom Flickel. Indeed, it's Todd Flickel, the starting defenseman and former Comet for Cincinnati. For the Kalamazoo Wings, in goal will be number 33, Mike Torchia. On the defense, Kevin Melrose. He'll be joined back on the defensive blue line by Paul Gerard. The kids that have played so well for the Kalamazoo Wings, Cal McGowan, Mike Kennedy, and Mark Lawrence will be the starters for the Kalamazoo Wings as you see the introduction of the Cincinnati Cyclones making their way out to the blue line area. But again, the fanfare goes on. The lights, the laser shows, and what have you, preceding each and every Cincinnati Cyclone game. Cincinnati comes in with a record of 14, 39, and 5, 33 points in the standings. The Wings are 21, 29, and 9, 51 points in the standings, and more important, tied with Indianapolis for the number 4 slot in the Eastern Conference as this playoff battle, Neil Meadmore, continues between Kalamazoo and Indianapolis.
Yeah, Mike, it's a pretty important game. The Wings here, like we talked about before, they just can't afford to lay off there and expect to win the last 10 or 15 games of the season to secure a spot in the playoffs. They got to start it now. And
ladies and gentlemen, join us now for our national anthem. back in Cincinnati, everybody. Moments away from the start of tonight's game. And Neil Meadmore, you and I talking before tonight's game. The Wings televised a game last year from Fort Wayne. We televised 3 games this year. That's 4 games in the history of the Kalamazoo Wings televised live hockey package. That's a possibility of 8 points, and we've taken 7 out of a possible 8 points on television, so maybe that'll bring us a little luck here tonight.
Might want to go ahead and televise all the games next year, Mike, on TV.
We've had a lot of luck, you're right.
Yeah, maybe just the point of the guys maybe, I know the guys continue to try hard on the road, whether they're on TV or not. Maybe it's more of a psychological edge knowing that they're going to be on TV.
Well, there's a look at the starters. Sandy Gallupo of the Cincinnati Cyclones. He played for Dayton in the East Coast Hockey League for Claude Noel. Of course, Jeff Stolp, the backup goaltender tonight for the Kalamazoo Wings, spent time playing for Claude Noel's Dayton Bombers. But indeed, it's Mike Torchia that will get the starting goal tonight for the Kalamazoo Wings, just back from the parent Minnesota North Stars Hockey Club. There's a look at Mike right there, and he's been sharp. He's had a good rookie season. The youngster Mike Torchia, and the Wings certainly counting on him here tonight at the Cincinnati Gardens.
It's got to be a little bit of a boost too, Mike, to have Mike Torchia call up to the Minnesota North Stars, even though it is to be filled as a backup role. It's always nice to know you wanted. He's sent down, and I'm sure he's playing with a lot of confidence these days. With Kalamazoo, they need that dependable goaltending back there.
Referee for tonight's game is Derek Martin. We were told Lance Roberts, but it is indeed Derek Martin with John Gould and Kurt Stevens, your linesman. We'll look at Paul Gerard, defensive tandem with Kevin Melrose. And a Cincinnati fan, and possibly their mascot. Can't believe that guy's in the payroll, but I guess he is. Referee Derek Martin moves to center. The puck is down, and we're underway from the Cincinnati Garden. Gerard for the Wings, played it ahead, and the Wings dump it into the Cincinnati zone. Now McGowan couldn't hold it in, and Lawton cleared it back to center. Lawrence for the Wings, played it on the left side for Mike Kennedy. There's a hit along the boards as number 20 for Cincinnati, Kerr, takes a run at Lawrence, and the puck eventually ends up in the penalty box area. Stoppage in play. Just underway. We've played 20 seconds. Glad to have you along, everybody, here in the Kalamazoo Wing Television Network on Cablevision of Michigan and our good friends at Adelphia Cable.
One of the players, Mike, I think the fans ought to keep an eye on tonight is number 13 for the Cincinnati Cyclones. There on the left wing is Paul Lawless, who used to play and have a trade in the NHL and under the Hartford Whalers, and I do believe he played in Europe last year. Who just been sent to Cincinnati and played there 6 games and just came off a 3-goal game.
Sunday against the Milwaukee Admirals. Wallace at one time, of course, playing Salt Lake City in the IHL a number of years ago. Now the Wings now. Baralt will play it to the line for Haru, and that's whistled down in the offside. Bring the face-off out to the neutral zone. First period action from the Cincinnati Gardens. This the only game scheduled in the International Hockey League tonight. One game tomorrow. Milwaukee's at Atlanta. The Wings, after tonight's game, will have played 4 more games than the Indianapolis Ice. So the Ice have 4 games in hand, and that's certainly becoming an important stat in this final battle for the final playoff berth in the IHL's Eastern Conference. On the face-off, Cincinnati's Nelson will dump it into the wing zone. Puck went along the boards. Now on the left side it goes. Haru's got it on the right wing boards to Baralt. Here's Baralt playing the puck into the Cincinnati zone. Puck went in behind the goal. Defenseman Chris Nelson's got it there, tried to work it out. Vilgrain tried to clear. Wings have it. Baralt in the corner. Here's Doug Baralt walking along the left wing boards. The Black return pass to Baralt. Puck into the corner. Now back to the left point to Nemeth. Drive! He scores! Nemeth for the left point beat Gallupo. And the Wings take a 1-0 lead at 1:07. Big goal. Quick start, Kalamazoo. Nemeth from the left point just drilled it.
Kalamazoo using some of his speed in there, and I think tonight that's going to be one of their biggest assets, is using a lot of their speed. Cyclones got, I think, a little more of a physical team. They're a little more of what you call the slug side. But that was just a shot by Todd Nemeth there from the left point there, and I do believe Gallup was probably screened, and just a matter of getting a shot on net, went between the legs.
Tommy Nemeth is 4th of the year. At 1 minute and 7 seconds gives the Kalamazoo Wings a 1-0 lead. Play now in the wing zone. Puck went along the boards. Kip Miller for the Wings cleared it ahead to center. Now moving down the right wing boards in over the Cincinnati line is Derek Smith. He lost it, eventually backhands it side of the goal. Cincinnati organizing in their own end. Sergei Harin played a rink-wide pass along the boards to Alan Heffel. He'll clear the zone to center. Intercepted wings Lenardon. He played it to the line and turning with it there. Craig Cox, the former Kalamazoo Wing. Now Cox has played it to the wing line. Moylan sent it up the right side for Kip Meller. Puck went back into the Cincinnati Cyclone zone. Here they come to center. Here's Medill. Over the line, check that. That's Harin moving into the wing zone. Puck now along the boards. Wings will try to work it out. And the puck came to center ice. Now Melrose for the Wings. Over the line, drop pass to Kennedy. Out in front for McGowan. That's deflected away by Kevin Kerr back to center. Puck then went back in over the line in the offside. Let's take a timeout. 17 minutes, 43 seconds to go in the first period. It's Kalamazoo 1, Cincinnati nothing here on the Kalamazoo Wing Television Network.
If you want a beer that drinks easy like a light and has real draft taste, why not make a change for the better? Refreshingly different, but dry. Bud Dry is one beer that drinks easy like a light and has real draft taste. So why not come around to something refreshingly different? Try Bud Dry.
Back at the Cincinnati Gardens, the Kalamazoo Wings a 1-0 lead. Melrose left point centered. Puck along the boards. Now McGowan drove one right on, and Galupo just got a leg on that one. Melrose left point couldn't hold it in. Lawton to center cleared the zone. Now McGowan for the Wings dropped it back to Melrose. Kevin Melrose will play it to the Cincinnati line. Bouncing puck center. And Paul Gerard now gave it to Kennedy. Intercepted Lawton. There's Lawton. He was spun around. McGowan got back to help out for the Wings, and Kennedy now played at the center. Cincinnati right back. Shaughnessy will play it into the wing zone. On the right wing board goes to Kevin Kerr. He lost it. Kennedy for the Wings. Starts out on the left wing board. Mike Kennedy, the rookie, over the line, walking high in the slot. Let a wrist shot go and sailed that one just wide of the goal. Here comes Cincinnati back out. Carrying the puck to center, backhanding into the wing zone was Nelson. Puck went in behind the goal. Torquia played it, just put it in the right wing boards. There's a quick drive by Nelson, and Torquia knocked that away. Wing defenseman Nemeth now skates out of his own end. Tom Nemeth, the center, he'll dump it to the line, and that play is whistled down in the offside. Bring the face-off out to the neutral zone.
Seemed like Mike Kalamazoo's got the legs going early in the game here tonight. I know Bill English has talked about the Kalamazoo being a little sluggish starting the game off. And I think he's probably stressed that before tonight's game to make sure the guys get the legs going early in the game here and it's shown tonight.
16-19 to go in the first period. 1-0. The Kalamazoo Wings have the lead. Tom Nemeth the goal, and on the assist for Kalamazoo, Eve Heroux. Time of the goal, 1:07. Puck went into the Cincinnati zone. Bill Grain's got it. Now Nelson's got it, dumped it along the boards. Now at center, turning for Kalamazoo, James Black. Black played it ahead to Baralt. He'll dump it to the Cincinnati end. Galupo stopped it, put it in behind the goal for Nelson. Up the right side for Christian. He couldn't work it out. Wings held it in. Heroux in the corner takes a hit from Nelson. Play still deep in the Cincinnati zone. Puck along the boards. Now out to the blue line it goes. Long pass up the left side to Norton. Over the line, drop pass to Bill Grain. Back to the point. A drive by Dagenet, and that rang off the glass in behind the goal. Christian in the corner centered, and that got all the way back out to neutral ice. Al Tour will fire it right back into the Kalamazoo wing zone, and the play has been whistled down. 15:26 to go in the first period. Offside the call. Face off in the neutral zone. Good look at Mike Torquia, and it's a good look at some of the fans here at Cincinnati tonight.
That was kind of important game for Kalamazoo as they come out here and scored the first goal of the game to take the fans out of the game. That's kind of an important factor sometimes, and you tend to take the momentum away from the Cincinnati fans.
Face off in the neutral zone. Controlled by Al Tour. He'll dump it into the wings end. Brian Straub back after it. Straub for the Wings in behind the net. Had it taken away by Perrine along the boards. Dumped it in behind the goal for Medill. Wings broke it up. It'll clear it back to the Cincinnati line. Off the boards, Heppel will play it. Should have an icing call here. Straub back at the touch will bring it to the Cincinnati zone. 15:02 to go in the first. Kalamazoo has a 1-0 lead. Wings again have lost 7 straight in the road, and they're trying to right that situation. The Kalamazoo Wings on the road this year have a record of 8-20-4, and this is their 33rd road game of the year, which is the most in the International Hockey League. After tonight's game, the Wings will have just 8 more contests on the road. Centering pass, loose out in front of the goal, and Cincinnati's Craig Cox broke up the play. Now to center. On the left side goes Medill for Cincinnati. Jeff Medill into the Kalamazoo Wing zone. Now it's the defenseman for Cincinnati. Shaughnessy, the veteran, just dumping the puck back into the wing zone. Brian Straub sets up in behind the goal. Now ahead to center it goes. Kalamazoo's Kip Meller will play it into the Cincinnati zone. In behind the goal, Derek Smith battles with Todd Flickel in behind the Cincinnati net. Wing center. Cox was there to break it up again ahead to Harine. Sergei Harine skating to center, the speedster over the line. Here's Harine's shot, and Torquay the save. Puck loose, and finally the Wings Gerard will clear it the length of the ice. We have an icing call coming. And back on the touch for Cincinnati is Todd Flickel. 14:05 to go in the first. Wings 1, Cincinnati nothing here on the Kalamazoo Wing Television Network.
The Kalamazoo Wings Television Hockey Network is brought to you by Pizza Chef. Pizza Chef gourmet pizzas are made with only wholesome ingredients and offer pizza lovers a healthy and satisfying difference. Tasty subs, tossed salads, and delicious garlic bread round out our tempting menu. Pizza Chef, the pizza you can score with.
Driving one save made, they score!
Visit Pizza Chef at 4312 South Westnedge, next to Blockbuster Video.
Well, back at Cincinnati, everybody. The Kalamazoo Wings and the Cincinnati Cyclones. First period action with the Wings on top, 1-0. On the face-off, quick drive by Cincinnati's Lawless, blocked by the Wings, and here comes McGowan to center. He'll dump it into the Cincinnati zone. Now a loose puck picked up and a quick drive by Kalamazoo's Cal McGowan, and a save by Galuppo, and he'll hold on. Good stop by the Cincinnati netminder, Sandy Galuppo.
Well, like old Cal McGowan almost had another goal there, and he's been on fire as of late. But a great stop by Galuppo, and a quick glove hand there.
Well, here's a good look at it right here, Neil.
Kind of a misplay by the defenseman there. Came off the boards there, and Cal McGowan got a quick shot away, and a quick stop by Galuppo.
Face off to Galuppo's right, left point, Melrose shot. Then the rebound deflected right through the goal mouth. There is McGowan. Slid it through the crease. Cincinnati back to center, over the line. Lawless drove one, blocked by Gerard. In after it for Cincinnati is Kevin Kerr. Puck in behind the Kalamazoo wing zone. And Lawrence will try to work it out. Held in by Lawless. Lawless on the near boards. Left point, Dagenet. And Gerard now will start back for the Wings. Paul Gerard made his way into the Cincinnati zone. Dropped it off for Lawrence. He cut in behind the goal. Ridden out by Dagenet. Cal McGowan battling in behind the net. Puck went along the boards. Kalamazoo organizing. Mike Kennedy to McGowan, and Lawless broke up that play. Now Lawless and Cincinnati will play it into the wing zone. Back after it, Paul Gerard and the Kalamazoo wing defense. Now ahead to Kennedy. He'll play it to the Cincinnati zone. Gerard was hit there, taking a check from Jeff Christian. Wings dump it to the Cincinnati zone. In after it, Mike Ryer. Peru tried to get to it. Cincinnati will organize, and here they come. Can't work it out. Bouncing puck. And now skating up the left wing boards. Over the line for Cincinnati is Alan Heppel. He'll play it in behind the wing goal. Nemeth back after it. Tom Nemeth to his own blue line to center. Here's Nemeth over the line. That plays offside. 12:23 to go in the first. Kalamazoo 1, Cincinnati nothing. Here on the Kalamazoo Wings Television Network.
Visit Vicksburg Chrysler Plymouth Dodge Jeep Eagle, Michigan's largest volume full-line Chrysler dealer for car buying made fun again. Choose from over 200 new and used vehicles in stock. See our huge selection of minivans, Jeep Cherokees, and Dodge Dakota trucks. Our courteous and professional staff is standing by to put you in the right car or truck. Vicksburg Chrysler Plymouth Dodge Jeep Eagle is located just 10 minutes south of the Kalamazoo Airport on Portage Road. Call us at 649-2000. We're a Pentastar Award dealer. We make car buying fun again.
Back at Cincinnati, 1-0. Wings have the lead. Tom Nemeth for Kalamazoo from Yves Heroux. On the face-off, controlled by Cincinnati. Pass on the left wing boards over the line. Harina drive, and save was made by Torquia. Rebound cleared by Mitchell on the left wing boards to Black. Burst of speed over the line. He's pulled down. Penalty call coming up as Derek Martin looks on. And they're going to call it hooking, and the Wings will go on the power play. Time of the penalty, 7 minutes and 53 seconds. Black, a burst of speed.
It's a lot of hustle by Black here coming down the left side here, and just keep the legs pumping the whole time. You're going to go ahead and you're going to cause a couple penalties to happen there. But a great effort by Black.
Alan Heppel pulled him down. Another guy wearing number 23. Mike Torquia makes his way back to the crease on the delayed call. Wings on the power play. Kalamazoo coming into tonight's game operating at 18%. League average is 20%. The Wings have been better as of late. Mitchell left point, played it to James Black. Nemeth and Mitchell on the points. Black top of the left wing circle. Return pass to Mitchell. Couldn't get the shot off. Boy, Roy jumped into the play very well there, but fanned on the shot. Cincinnati will clear it back into the Kalamazoo Wing zone. 11:46 to go in the first. Wings lead at 1-0. 1:37 to go in the power play for the Kalamazoo Wings. Their first power play chance of the night. Cincinnati will clear back to center. Wings reorganize there. Nemeth. Rink wide to Black. Black just hands the puck to Shaughnessy, and he'll lug it all the way back to his own blue line. Now Mitchell bouncing puck to center. Roy Mitchell down the right wing boards over the line. He centered one right out in front. Kalamazoo's Mike Ryer, top of the left wing circle. Now Mitchell's got it in the corner for Yves Heroux. Here's Heroux. He's centered a pass and just hands the puck there to Lawless, and he'll clear it back into the Wings end. 58 seconds to go in the Kalamazoo Wing power play. They organize in behind the netminder, Mike Torquia. Kevin Melrose has got it there. Pass ahead to Kip Meller, moving to center. Here's Meller down the right wing boards over the line on the backhand. They battle for it to the goaltender Galupo's left. Wings hold it in. Meller now back. Right point, Gerard. Left point for Kevin Melrose. Right point, here's Gerard. A shot! Glove save. He'll hold on. Keeps the face-off inside the Cincinnati Cyclone zone. With 31 seconds to go on the Kalamazoo Wing power play.
One of the key plays here, Mike, initially was Kip Miller keeping the puck on the inside of the boards there, getting the puck back to Paul Gerard. He slid it across to Melrose. Melrose slid it back to Gerard, and Gerard let one of his cannonading shots go again, and Galoup came up big.
Heppel's in the penalty box. He went off for hooking. The time of that penalty was at 7:53. First power play chance of the night for the Kalamazoo Wings. Now Meller's got it, centered right out in front. Quick shot by Smith. Galupo knocked that away. Right point, Gerard held it in. Good play. Put it and rung it around the boards. Peralt on the left side. There's a collision along the boards. Heroux. Left point, Melrose. Poke check by Vilgrain. Odd Vilgrain working on Gerard. He drove one and Gerard blocked it. Puck came along the boards, back to center. Penalty is over. Both clubs are at full strength. Cincinnati's Norton moving to the wing zone. Put it in behind the goal. They jam forward in behind Mike Torquia. Left point, Dagenet, a drive, and that one's sailing some 20 rows up into the seats. 9:48 to go in the first. 1-0. Kalamazoo has the lead. here on the Kalamazoo Wings Television Network.
For a snow thrower that will handle any snowfall, we suggest a Toro Power Curve. They're lightweight, easy to handle, and throw snow up to 30 feet. So they're perfect for those times when it really comes down. See the complete line of Toro Power Curve snow throwers at these Toro dealers.
Back at Cincinnati, Mike Miller and Neil Meadmore with you here. Statistician tonight, Larry Hogden. Face off inside the Kalamazoo Wing zone. Moylan played it to Straub to his own blue line to center. Ryan Straub played it into the Cincinnati end. Gallupo trying to clear it along the boards. Lawrence held it in for Kalamazoo. Right point, here's Moylan, a shot right on. And Gallupo made the save. Puck rung around the boards. Wings will try to hold it in. Cleared by Norton. Back to the Kalamazoo wing line. Ryan Straub will turn there for the Wings. Up the right side for Kennedy. Intercepted. Puck went back into the wing zone. Dave Moylan's got it there. Now to Straub. Held in by Tour. Now the Wings move back up. Now McGowan. Here's McGowan over the line. He tried to center one. Puck loose side of the wing goal. And on the near board, Cincinnati will clear it. The link to the ice as Christian banged it into the wing zone. Roy Mitchell back in the touch. Will bring it back into the Cincinnati end with 8:54 to go in the first period. Wings still on top. 1-0 in the Tom Nemeth goal.
A lot of hard work, Mike, but the one line with Lawrence and Mike Kennedy and Cal McGowan, they're working extremely hard. Then they've been one of Kalamazoo's positive notes here as of late here. With McGowan scoring a number of goals here, and Mark Lawrence, since he's been called up from Dayton, he scored 12 goals here in the last 34 games here, so he's been a definite added bonus to the Kalamazoo Wings.
Good size of the youngster, Mark Lawrence. North Star draft pick, face off Gallupo's left. Inside the Cincinnati zone, James Black's got it. Back to the point to Nemeth. Wrist shot fired wide. Black took it off the end boards, drove one way wide, and now on the boards, Medill. Black intercepts right out in front, fanned and a wrist shot. Side of the goal, they try to set up Baralt. That didn't work. Puck went back into the corner. James Black centered for Haru. Left point, Nemeth right out in front, drove one. Haru then had it go off a skate to the corner. Now out in front, quick drive, Gallupo. The save as Haru ripped one from point blank range. Cincinnati now will clear it back to the wing line. Mitchell's got it. Now the Kalamazoo Wings try to clear. Now back to the left point. On the boards it goes. Marine hit by Nemeth. Play still deep in the Kalamazoo Wings zone. Now they play it to the left point. Wings will chop it ahead. They try to get it to James Black. That'll go the length of the ice. And an icing call coming. 7:53 to go in the first. 1-0 Wings here in the Kalamazoo Wing Television Network.
People don't stay at La Quinta Inns just because they happen to see one everywhere they go. Although, it is a convenient excuse. Call 1-800-531-5900. La Quinta Inns, America's hotel value.
Back at Cincinnati, 7:53 to go in the first. Wings will 1-0 lead. If you just tuned in, glad to have you along, everybody. On the face-off, Gerard for the Wings. Played it to Melrose on the left wing boards to Smith. Good pass ahead, moving over the line. Kip Miller's got Lenardon with him. Lenardon a drop pass, a backhand right on. Derek Smith let it go. Gallupo knocked it away. Wings a 3-on-1 moving to the Cincinnati zone. Now Lenardon a wrist shot. Gallupo another save. Rebound was loose, gloved off by the Cincinnati netminder. He'll hold on. Wings have outshot Cincinnati 12-5 to this point in time, and actually, Neil, have had the best of the chances.
They really have, but Gallupo's played outstanding so far. It's only been a 1-0 game in favor of Kalamazoo, but the Wings have been throwing the puck around with a lot of authority on it, and it seems like they got their act together tonight.
7:29 to go in the first period. Coach Bill Inglis in behind the wing bench area will send out Miller. Lenardon and Smith up front with Gerard and Melrose on the points. Now Miller, right point to Gerard. Gerard in the backhand, directed it right on. Gallupo knocked it away. Derek Smith in after it. Now Kip Miller operating in the corner, centered out for Smith. That was knocked away. Lawton trying to clear. Now Lenardon down front. He was pulled down. Play continues. Cincinnati back out. Now Lawton to center. Pass over the line. Now Wallace back to Lawton to drive. The glove saved by Torchia. And he'll hold on. Big stop by the wing netminder on this, his 21st birthday. Mike Torchia, 21 today, and look at this save.
Well, that's one of the key saves by Torchia. An excellent save on Brian Lawton, the #1 draft choice for the Minnesota North Stars a few years back. But just an outstanding save by Torchia.
21 today. A while since you and I have been that age, Neil.
Oh, she's telling me. 21 at heart, though, Mike.
You got it, pal. No question about it. 6:59 to go in the first. 1-0. Wings on top and a rookie defenseman Tom Nemeth goal. Face-off Moylan gave it to his defensive partner Brian Straub. Played it ahead to center. Here's Mike Kennedy dumping the puck into the Cincinnati zone. Along the boards it goes. Wings hold it in. Brian Straub overskates. Cincinnati comes right back out. Here's Lawless into the wing zone. Paul Lawless with Lawton. Lawless cut right in. Puck loose now. Heppel. Rebound. Another stop. Right out in front as Kerr let it go. And Torquay another huge stop. Cincinnati applying pressure. Wings now will come back out. Here's Cal McGowan. Drop pass to Kennedy. Over the line. Wrist shot. Gallupo. The save will hold on. 6:18 to go in the first. 1-0 Wings here in the Kalamazoo Wings Television Network.
Overhead Doors garage door openers and accessories save you time, money, and energy while providing convenience and protection for your family. If you already have an automatic door opener, for safety reasons, it should be inspected and serviced regularly. Call today to have a service professional visit your home for a complete inspection and information about our newest security features.
Look for the ribbon, look for the name, the original Overhead Door.
Overhead Door. For convenience and security, our name sets the standard.
Back at Cincinnati. Wings a 1-0 lead. Mike Miller along with you with Neil Meadmore. Scotty Bud Melvin will be talking to former Kalamazoo Wing player, now the coach of the Dayton Bombers in our first intermission. That's Claude Noel, of course, who's got a number of players that started the year in Dayton, now with Kalamazoo. Now James Black, top of the circle, and drive right on Gallupo. Another save. He'll hold on. Keep the face-off inside the Cincinnati zone with 6:02 to go in the first period.
Well, so far to this point in time, anyways, Mike, I think Kalamazoo Wings have played pretty much a flawless game there with the exception of maybe one rush here by Cincinnati. And it's going to be pretty hard to keep a couple of guys like Brian Lawton and Paul Lawless off the scoreboard, but so far they've kept that to a minimum.
Peralt moves in to take the draw. Cincinnati controls the face-off. Todd Flickle sets up in behind Sandy Gallupo. Flickle, the captain, overskates. Regains control. Played it on the right side. Norton will slam it into the wing zone. Torquay in behind the net. Cleared it off the glass. You got to watch that here with the low glass. Right point shot by Flickle, deflected away. Mitchell now to Black. Ahead to Heroux at center. Pass off his skate. Slides to the Cincinnati zone. Heroux in the corner. It's with Flickle along the boards. Norton came in to dig it out. Darcy Norton on the left side. Now skating to center. Christian for Cincinnati. Christian in over the wing line. Good pass to Norton. Top of the circle. He tried to center it. Mitchell broke up the play in the Kalamazoo Wing defense. Dagenet left point. Put it back into the corner. Now Roy Mitchell's got it in behind the goal. Now up the left side. To center. Here's James Black over the line. Drove one. Gallupo got the blocker on it. Now it's controlled by James Black. Black dumped it back in behind the Cincinnati goal. And Dagenet will start back out for the Cincinnati Cyclones ahead to Norton. Now Gerard's got it at center. Now to Derek Smith off of his skate. Medill will play it back into the wing zone. Cincinnati making player changes. Wings organize in their own end. Tim Leonard to center. Here's Lenardon, played it off Dagenet at the line. Meller now a drop pass for Lenardon, quick wrist shot. That shot went off the glass, loose side of the goal. Dug out by the Kalamazoo Wings. Derek Smith battling, made a good play. Here's Smith, he pulled down Hareen. Play continues, Smith on the boards, put it right out in front. Boy, being pulled down there. The pretty good scoring chance was Melrose. Wings hold it in, it's all Kalamazoo. Smith in the corner, he's hit by Al Tour, and Medill now will break out. Ahead to Cox, over the line to Hareen. Here's Hareen from a big angle, didn't get much on it. Now Medill from the corner centered, and Torquia will hold on. No further play.
Well, Jeff Medill kind of almost caught Torquia by surprise there, and Jeff Medill, he's played against him in the American League there. He's been known as kind of an aggressive player that has a combination of a lot of strength there, and that's one of them. His goal scoring ability. He's got 36 goals in 57 games, leading the team. And right behind him are a couple of Kalamazoo Wings that used to play for him, Mario Thayer and Darcy Norton.
I'd like to welcome, of course, one of our sponsors to Kalamazoo Wings Hockey, Handel Stein and Gift Shop. And after each and every telecast, we'll be selecting our Handel Stein and Gift Shop star of the game. Our star of the game will be talking to Scotty Bud Melvin. That's Handel Stein and Gift Shop, located at 7523 South Westnedge in Portage. Beer, paraphernalia, collectibles, steins, neons, and mirrors. Buckle on the boards in the Cincinnati zone. Dug out by Lawless. He'll clear it back to center. Dave Moylan will play it back into the Cincinnati end. Just 3:31 to go in the first period. Puck came back into the Kalamazoo Wing zone. And back after it, Straub. Here's Straub now on the left wing boards to Kennedy. Puck went back into the Cincinnati zone. Wings making changes. Cincinnati organizes. Wallace to center. Lift one into the wing zone. Torquia steers to the corner. Nemeth back after and up the left side to James Black. Right wing pass. Haru over the line. It's right. Galupo the save, and the puck came right out in front. Wings applying big-time pressure again in the Cincinnati zone. Haru will try to center. Knocked away by Galupo. Lawton starts back out. To Lawless. Up the right side. Moving over the line now is Lawless. Little return pass from Kerr. Held in Flickle. Side of the goal it goes for Kerr in the corner. Lawton tried to center. Went off Nemeth, and Nemeth will clear it back to neutral ice. Cincinnati now tried to flip it back in, but the Wings a loose puck. Now Haru moving back into the Cincinnati zone, and a backhand Galupo. Got a piece of that and deflected it just wide of the goal. James Black for the Wings along the boards. And now the puck is cleared to center. Here's Mitchell. Up the left side to James Black. He'll dump it back into the Cincinnati zone. Puck along the boards. Continuous action here with Norton back to center. Pass up the right side to Bill Graham. Broke up by Nemeth on the wing defense. Now Tom Nemeth just fired it, or flipped it actually, back to the Cincinnati line. Puck along the boards, over the line. Norton a drive fire. That just wide. That had a lot on it. Puck along the boards to center. Now Meller's got it. He'll clear it back into the Cincinnati Cyclone zone. Galupo left it in behind the net for Dagenet. Here's Dagenet, flipped it to center. Melrose fired it back into the Cincinnati zone. Now Nelson in behind the net. Puck in the corner. Norton's got it. Puck came back to the neutral zone. Melrose came up with it. Now to Nelson. Meller broke it up for the Wings. Now Melrose has got it. And Melrose organizing and circling back into his own end. Wings Gerard back to Melrose. 1:10 to go in the first. Continuous action here. Meller for the Wings over the line. Kip Meller to the Cincinnati zone. Drove one just wide of the goal with a couple of moves. Dagenet's got it. Minute to go in the period. Puck came back to center. Moylan's hit. Puck went back in over the line. He flipped it to the side of the goal. Back after it for Cincinnati. Dagenet ahead to Lawless. Intercepted at center ice by McGowan. Now moving over the line is Moylan. Dave Moylan for the Wings on a delayed offside. Wings clear the zone. 38 seconds to go in the period. Now down the left side it goes. Into the Kalamazoo Wing end, Moylan. To Brian Straub on the left side, Kennedy. Here's Kennedy over the line, dropped it right out in front for Lawrence, a drop pass. Now a hit side of the goal. Loose puck. McGowan to Lawrence. He put it through the goal mouth. Now McGowan in behind the goal. Centering pass came out for Kennedy. 10 seconds to go in the period. Right point Mitchell. Dumped it back in. Lawrence has got it in behind the net. Play still deep in the Cincinnati zone. Play's been whistled down. Let's take a quick timeout here. It's 1-0. Kalamazoo and the Kalamazoo Wing Television Network.
People don't stay at La Quinta Inns just because of the big, quiet rooms. It's just something we've heard. Call 1-800-531-5900. La Quinta Inns, America's hotel value.
Back at Cincinnati. 1-0 Wings had the lead. Just 2 seconds to go here in the first period. Kalamazoo Wings with a 1-0 lead. Face off inside the Cincinnati zone. Lawton moves in against McGowan, a couple of number 8s. Puck is down, left point. Drive by Straub is wide as the buzzer sounds. And the first period is in the books. And at the end of 1 period of play, it's Kalamazoo 1, Cincinnati 0 here on the Kalamazoo Wing Television Network.
Solve the mystery of beechwood aging. Beechwood aging isn't some huge, mysterious secret. It's a nearly forgotten example of the brewmaster's art. So expensive, so time-consuming that Bud's the only brewer that still does it.
If it's not beechwood aged, it's just not right.
Okay, so how do you make beer if it's not beechwood aged?
Yeah. Some things are better left unknown.
Southwest Michigan's team, your Kalamazoo Wings. On the boards, had him go off the skate, picked up a loose puck, walked right out in front, rebound, they score!
That is where it's at.
WFAT at 96.5 FM.
WFAT is Kalamazoo's only radio station for good times and great oldies from the 60s.
Tune in WFAT at 96.5 and become a
Fat Cat.
We've got the best 50s and 60s rock and lots of roll.
Fat 96.5.
The Kalamazoo Wings Television Hockey Network is brought to you by Pizza Chef. Pizza Chef gourmet pizzas are made with only wholesome ingredients and offer pizza lovers a healthy and satisfying difference. Tasty subs, tossed salads, and delicious garlic bread round out our tempting menu. Pizza Chef, the pizza you can score with.
Driving one save, made, they score!
Visit Pizza Chef at 4312 South Westnedge, next to Blockbuster Video.
Introducing Wallenwood Springs Golf Club, Grand Rapids' newest championship golf course. Designed by Jerry Matthews, Wallenwood Springs opens in May. Make the right club choice. Play Wallenwood Springs Golf Club in Jenison. A tradition of excellence continues. Lake Doster Golf Club is now open. Lake Doster is a premier course, home of the Vantage Classic Super Seniors Pro-Am, a public course in a classic country club style. Lake Doster Golf Club in Plainwell.
Well, Mike Miller and Neil Meadmore back with you at the Cincinnati Gardens. The Kalamazoo Wings have a 1-0 lead at the end of 1 period of play. Before we go down to Scotty Bud Melvin, Neil, very briefly, your thoughts in the first period.
I thought Kalamazoo Wings played an excellent first period of hockey, Mike. They came here ready to play tonight. It's pretty evident. I was shooting the Cincinnati Cyclones 17-7, with the exception A couple defensive lapses there. Kalamazoo played outstanding the first period.
Let's go downstairs now to Scotty Bud Melvin. He's standing by with the coach of the Dayton Bombers, Claude Noel.
All right, thank you, Mike Miller and Neil Meadmore. We have a very special guest with us here after the first period, a former K-Wing. Also, he once centered the highest scoring line in IHL history along with Dirk Graham and Dave Falkenberg. He is the head coach of the Dayton Bombers of the East Coast Hockey League. Claude Noel, thanks for being with us. What did you think about the first period?
I thought it was pretty good. I thought that Kalamazoo were dominant, really. I thought that they had a lot better puck control. They played pretty well defensively. They looked like a much quicker team, and I thought they executed very well. Whereas in Cincinnati's situation, I didn't think that they executed very well on offense, didn't muster anything up, and they had a lot of problems in their own end.
Now, in case a lot of the fans, a lot of the Kalamazoo Wings fans back in Kalamazoo don't know, Claude, head coach of Dayton of the East Coast Hockey League, part of the Minnesota North Stars organization. And tell us a little bit about the Dayton club this year.
Well, this is our second year in the East Coast Hockey League. Last year was we were an expansion team, and this year we're in second place, and we've had a fair amount of success right now. We're presently in second place, 4 points behind Toledo, who's leading. And we play 64 games, and we hope to win all 64 when we start off the season. But we're like a AA baseball team for people that's not very certain on what goes on in the East Coast League. We're like AA baseball. We supply players to possibly Kalamazoo. I've got a player here that's with Cincinnati. I've got another player now that's in the American League in Binghamton. So we've had some success winning games and bringing players up to the higher levels as well.
Well, let's talk about a couple of your guys. In fact, you're here watching a few of yours tonight. Let's touch on a couple of them. Tom Nemeth, how's he doing?
Yeah, well, Tom played pretty well for me. He really controls. He's a puck control type defenseman, and I can see he's playing pretty well, same style of play as he did with me. I think he had a pretty good period here. Mike Ryer's the guy that's been signed with them. Jeff Stolp's the guy just went up. Lawrence, another guy. I think all of them certainly don't look out of place. There was a time, I think, Scott, where there was a big difference between the gap in the East Coast Hockey League and the IHL. And I think that as the league, the East Coast Hockey League, is maturing, I see that gap closing quite a bit because players are able to step in right now and play and contribute.
Now touch on some of the major differences between the East Coast League and the IHL, if you could, for some of the fans.
Well, the pay would be the first thing. Guys that are under contract to the East Coast Hockey League average $300 a week, some $350. We pay part of their apartments. But the biggest difference is that, well, we have free agents, and like I say, I've got right now I've got, I think, 8 or 9 free agents. The rest are contracted players. We have smaller rosters, but we're more of a developmental league. We have affiliations like with Minnesota. They go to Kalamazoo, and then Kalamazoo would send maybe some guys to us. So, the brand of hockey is a little bit different, but I find that the biggest difference between our league and the IHL, other than the pay and the skill level, is that in East Coast Hockey League, you know that if you're getting players there, especially free agent players, all the players really, is that there's a lot of determination and drive to succeed there, because the players certainly aren't going down there for the money, so they're looking for the opportunity. And every night you can pretty well see a lot of drive on the ice. Whereas here you play 82 games, we only play 64, so things are pretty intense in our league.
Now, you're probably a little bit disappointed that Kalamazoo and also sometimes Minnesota's, they take players from your team, but that's their job. On the other hand, it's got to be good to come here like in Cincinnati and see them doing very well.
Yeah, it's very rewarding for us. We've had some success, like I say, and it's very good for the program for us.
All right, Claude Noel, the head coach of the Dayton Bombers. Claude, good luck the rest of the year, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it.
1-0 Wings. We're going back upstairs to Mike and Neil. Take it, guys.
Well, back at the Cincinnati Gardens, the Kalamazoo Wings, a 1-0 lead over Cincinnati, and what's been an excellent first period of play, Neil.
Yeah, definitely. Kalamazoo has come out, and you can't really pinpoint it, Mike. It's a whole team effort right now. Right from Torquilla, making a couple key saves to keep Kalamazoo in front for the 1-0 lead. The defensive forwards are all working hard in the corners, and that's what you have to do. Kalamazoo really doesn't have any big stars in the team. They're going to win the game. They got to work as a unit and play, a full 60 minutes of hockey.
I'd like to remind everybody that chat between, of course, Claude Noel and Scotty Bud Melvin was brought to you by Pizza Chef, the official pizza of Kalamazoo Wings televised hockey. Back at the Cincinnati Gardens, Mike Miller and Neil Meadmore with you again, and Neil, anything we have to do in the second period to keep things going?
Well, we just can't afford to let up, Mike. I think we have total control of this game so far to this point in time, but it's only a 1-0 lead. You know, we definitely outshot them 17-7, but all it takes is a couple of goals here by Cincinnati, and all of a sudden they take the lead. The momentum changes. The fans get into it. You can't afford to let that happen. So I think Kalamazoo still has to come out there and play a strong brand of hockey right now, and that's skating at both ends of the rink.
Kalamazoo Wings again leading this one by a score of 1-0. Had pressure on the whole period. This is the start of a big week for Kalamazoo. Of course, the Wings return home this weekend for a para contest and play a road game Sunday down in Fort Wayne. You want to always, I think, start the week out in a positive note. Let's get the thing rolling and rolling early.
Yeah, definitely, especially when Indianapolis right now, after this point in time, Mike, especially after this game here, Indianapolis is going to have 4 games in hand. So it is a crucial game that Kalamazoo does, you know, hopefully come away with a couple of points here and kind of get on the roll at the start of the week.
1-0 Kalamazoo at the end of one period of play. We'll be back with more here from the Cincinnati Gardens after this timeout.
Visit Vicksburg Chrysler Plymouth Dodge Jeep Eagle, Michigan's largest volume full-line Chrysler dealer. For car buying made fun again. Choose from over 200 new and used vehicles in stock. See our huge selection of minivans, Jeep Cherokees, and Dodge Dakota trucks. Our courteous and professional staff is standing by to put you in the right car or truck. Vicksburg Chrysler Plymouth Dodge Jeep Eagle is located just 10 minutes south of the Kalamazoo Airport on Portage Road. Call us at 649-2000. We're a Pentastar Award dealer. We make car buying fun again.
The Plan America Center, located at Cal C Credit Union's Lover's Lane office, is a financial management program designed to help our members develop and achieve their financial goals. Remember, the right answers for planning your future are right where you belong.
Cal C Credit Union is our family, serving yours.
People don't stay at La Quinta Inns just because they happen to see one everywhere they go. Although, it is a convenient excuse. Call 1-800-531-5900. La Quinta Inns, America's hotel value.
Is your Fiat finicky, Mazda misfiring, Honda hesitant, BMW busted, or your Toyota temperamental? At Foreign Auto Parts, they have the parts you need to keep your foreign car running right. They stock Haynes manuals, BAP Geon imported parts, Boga shock absorbers, NGK spark plugs, and much, much more. So if your Nissan's noisy, your Jaguar jittery, or your Saab sluggish, come to Foreign Auto Parts with 2 convenient locations, 453 West Kilgore and 8126 West Main.
Well, Mike Miller and Neil Meadmore back with you here at the Cincinnati Gardens. Again, we played the Wings with a 1-0 lead. Here's the totals and the summary of the first period of play. Kalamazoo Wings obviously doing very well in the first, and I think the numbers really will indicate that, Neil.
Yeah, definitely being outshot 17-7. I think Dennis Desrosiers is going to go downstairs and kind of, you know, let the guys know that, hey, listen, we've lost 11 in a row here. We're back in our own building here. The fans are still supporting us here time and time again here, so it's time to kind of get going here and get the fans into it again.
Galupo certainly a factor as you see it. The Wings 17 shots on goal. Galupo made 16 saves. Cyclones 7 shots on goal. Mike Torkey has stopped all 7. And you know something, only 7 shots on goal, Neil, but of those 7 shots, I want to say 3 or 4 were pretty good scoring chances.
Yeah, definitely, Mike. You know, a couple of shots could have easily been goals by Mike Torkey, and it's pretty hard to keep your concentration into the game when you've only got 7 shots on you, but you got to give a lot of credit to Mike. Keep his concentration in there.
Only 1 penalty in the period. Alan Heppel for Cincinnati went off for hooking at 7:53. 1 power play chance in the period. That went to Kalamazoo. The Wings 0 for 1 on the power play. The lone goal of the period came at 1:07 of period number 1. And that was James Black and Haru assisting on a Tom Nemeth goal. Again, that at 1:07. They added James Black late for that second assist. Nemeth, again, his 4th from Haru and Black at 1:07. And that was a shot, of course, that came from the left point. And Neil, as you said, I think it was Galupo from the left point. He was screened on that shot.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. Once you get, and the coaches try to pinpoint that out and tell the guys to go ahead and get in front of the goalie and create some havoc in front of him and try and screen the goalie. And all the defense try to do is get the puck on net. It doesn't have to be a hard shot at all, but if you create some havoc in front of it, it's going to cause a lot of problems for Galupo and even the Cincinnati defenseman, and it happened there.
We played one, the Wings with a 1-0 lead. So far, so good. Again, the Wings trying to snap a 7-game losing streak on the road. We'll be back with more here from the Cincinnati Gardens after this timeout.
Give your home lasting beauty with a genuine overhead door. We offer a magnificent selection of quality garage doors and automatic opener systems designed with the discriminating homeowner in mind. Professionally installed, durable, and attractive, a new door and opener from Overhead Door will enhance the value and appearance of your home for years to come.
Look for the ribbon, look for the name, the original Overhead Door.
Overhead Door, for value and beauty. Our name sets the standard.
For a snow thrower that will handle any snowfall, we suggest a Toro Power Curve. They're lightweight, easy to handle, and throw snow up to 30 feet. So they're perfect for those times when it really comes down. See the complete line of Toro Power Curve snow throwers at these Toro dealers.
Hi, I'm Mark Ransom. Here at Kalamazoo Tire Brokers, we care about you, your car, and the environment. Because we care, we have just purchased a state-of-the-art antifreeze recycling machine. Now, for $44.95, you can be assured your car's cooling system is fully serviced and the antifreeze is restored to its proper pH and freeze protection level. All this with our new antifreeze recycling machine. So be good to yourself, be good to your car, and be good to the environment. Come to Kalamazoo Tire Brokers today. Thank you.
Didn't use it. No, we're fine like this. Welcome back to the Cincinnati Gardens, again where the Kalamazoo Wings lead the Cincinnati Cyclones by a score of 1-0. There's one of our great sponsors right there, All Phase Electric. We'd like to welcome them. We appreciate their continued support. All Phase Electric, of course, servicing Wing Stadium for all your electrical needs. Remember, the All Phase Electric Supply Company. Well, back at Cincinnati Gardens, again a 1-0 lead for the Kalamazoo Wings. Again, Neil, I know we touched on it, but briefly again, what do we have to do here in period number 2?
Well, again, just not let up, Mike, at all on the actual skating department. You know, you got a big ice surface in front of you, and I think Kalamazoo's got to use that to their advantage right now. Cincinnati, they got kind of a physical style of presence out there. They got a lot of guys that I think if you keep the legs going, they got to clutch and grab you the whole night long, and it's going to create a lot of penalties on Cincinnati and in favor of Kalamazoo. So I think you just got to keep going at it.
We'll be back with second period action. Kalamazoo 1, Cincinnati 0. We'll be back with a second period after this.
At Play It Again Sports, we encourage recycling. Play It Again Sports. We buy and sell used sports equipment. No matter what kind of used sports equipment you have, Play It Again Sports will pay you money for it. If your kids have grown or if you've changed sports, bring your old equipment in. We'll buy it and put it back in the game.
The best just got better at Best Ford Lincoln Mercury. The best quality proven performers. The best prices on new models. The best service from factory trained technicians. And the best advice from friendly professional people you can count on. The truth is, the best is yet to come for 93. Best Ford Lincoln Mercury. I-94 and Pipestone Road across from Bayer and the Mall. The best just got better.
People don't stay at La Quinta Inns just because they happen to see one everywhere they go. Although, it is a convenient excuse. Call 1-800-531-5900. La Quinta Inns, America's hotel value.
Back at Cincinnati, 1-0. The Kalamazoo Wings leading the Cincinnati Cyclones. We're just about ready for second period action. Mike Torchia on his 21st birthday right there, and our goal to our right for this period, and Sandy Gallupo in goal to our left. Referee Derek Martin moves to center. Al McGowan and another number 8, Ryan Watton, to take the opening face-off here in period number 2. Puck is down. We're underway here in the second period. Cyclones control. Tour played at the center. Gerard played it back into the Cincinnati zone. Heppel now ahead to Lawton at center. He'll fire it to the wings end. Torchia squeezing the pads together, made the save. Gerard up the right side. Wings with a fleck at the center. Cincinnati flipped it back into the Kalamazoo wing zone. Melrose in behind the goal. Now skating to center for Kalamazoo was Mark Lawrence. He lost it. Gerard covers on the defense. Played it up the right side for Lawrence. Probably have an icing call here. We do. Al Tour back in the touch. Bring the face-off back inside the Kalamazoo wing zone. 38 seconds into period number 2. A 1-0 lead. There's a good look at the Cincinnati bench. In behind the bench, their coach Dennis Desrosiers. You can see him there in the left of your screen. The veteran IHL player, and certainly a guy that came to play every night.
Yeah, well, Dennis was kind of the rough and rugged player, and like Scotty Bud Melvin talked about in the intermission there about being aggressive and having a few fights. A little Elvin White and Lenardon Candy, a couple of tough customers.
He held his own, believe me. Left point, Dagenet drove one wide. Right point, Nelson held it in, put it in behind the goal. Here's Vilgrain. Operating wing zone. Left point, knocked away, wings back to center. Down the boards, over the line. Poke check, Cincinnati recovers, organizing. Pass ahead to Norton, and on the wing defense, Mitchell will play it to the Cincinnati zone. Goaltender Gallupo knocked it away. Black, a quick wrist shot was wide. Mitchell held it in, puck in behind the net. Haru lost his stick, got stuck in the boards. Now Black for the Wings, back in behind the goal for Baralt. Now here comes Cincinnati back out. Christian. Now right wing pass. Darcy Norton over the line. Drove one, went short side, fired wide. Puck all the way around the boards, back to center. Wings over the line. There's Mimith's shot. Gallupo threw out the right leg. Now centering pass. Black cut in, and Gallupo got back to stone James Black just to the side of the goal mouth area. Puck went back to the line. Moylan. Now ahead, moving into the zone. There's a quick drive by Kalamazoo's Lenardon. Gallupo knocked it away. Derek Smith's got it along the boards. Here's Smith in behind the goal. They battle for it in behind the net. Cincinnati's got it, and here they come back out. Dagenet played it ahead to Vilgrain. Here's Vilgrain putting the puck into the Kalamazoo wing zone. Now Straub up the right side for Miller. Now Lenardon on the right wing boards to Miller. To Moylan. Moylan went down. Play continued. Craig Cox pass to Hareen. Shooting one, and Torchia dropping to his knees made the save. The Wings will clear the zone. That went up into the seats. 17:34 to go in the second period. 1-0 Wings here in the Kalamazoo Wing Television Network.
People don't stay at La Quinta Inns just because of the big, quiet rooms. It's just something we've heard. Call 1-800-531-5900. La Quinta Inns, America's hotel value.
Back at Cincinnati. Tom Bruce is our director tonight. John Garrett handling all the technical transmissions for you folks back in the Kalamazoo and surrounding areas. Craig Cox in behind the wing goal. The veteran turning with it now in the right wing circle. Centering pass went through the goal mouth. Pile up side of the goal. Hareen getting in the way of the wing goaltender Torchia. Now in behind the net, Mario Tyre. Played it to Craig Cox on the boards. Now to Hareen. Sergei Hareen, the former Winnipeg Jet. Had to go in behind the wing goal. Wing Straub. Now Meller came up with that. And the puck is cleared all the way back into the Cincinnati zone. Back after it in behind the goal for Cincinnati. Todd Flickle up the right side for Tyre. That'll go sliding to the wing zone. Torquia cleared it on the left wing boards, near boards, and here comes Melrose. On his backhand, right wing pass, Gerard to McGowan over the line. Here's McGowan, a shot blocked by Flickle. In behind the net it goes, turning again. There's Lawrence right out in front. Gerard couldn't get the shot off. Wings caught, but getting back to help out Lawrence and Kennedy. Cincinnati will play it to the wing zone. Now Gerard's got it along the boards. Wings Lawrence will try to work it out. He's hit by the Cincinnati defenseman Tour. Right point Heppel. Banged it right back in behind the wing goal. Now a centering pass for Wallace, right out in front. He was hooked out of the play, and the penalty call coming. Cincinnati power play coming up. Time of the penalty, 3:56.
Well, I'll tell you, Mike, that was a great penalty by Melrose, though, because otherwise they had two guys in front of the net right on top of Torquia. So I tell you, it was a great penalty by Melrose. You hate to say it, but sometimes some penalties are needed. And in this particular case here, they had a chance here to tie up the game.
Now here's a look at the penalty coming up out in front of wing goaltender Mike Torquia.
Yeah, right in front of Mike. You can see there, well, they had two players, Cincinnati.
So Cincinnati will go on the power play, their first power play chance of the night. Face off inside the wing zone. Brian Lawton. He'll come out center of line with Wallace on the right side, Kerr on the left wing. Heppel and Dagenet in the points. Penalty killers for the Kalamazoo Wings, Baralt, along with Derek Smith, Nemeth, and Roy Mitchell. Melrose is in the box for the Kalamazoo Wings. He went off for hooking at 3:56. Cincinnati with the extra man, Wallace to center. Over the line he goes. He was stopped by Nemeth. Wings contain Cincinnati in neutral ice. Cyclones now play it into the wing zone. Now Roy Mitchell along the boards. And Baralt now will clear to center. Cincinnati organizing near boards, Wallace. Cincinnati with the extra man. Now Heppel, the former San Diego Gull. He was stopped at the line. Good hit there by Mitchell. Dagenet, Boo Bird's out, not happy at all with his Cincinnati power play. 1:07 to go in the Melrose hooking call. 15:08 to go in the second period. Now Lawless played it ahead to Lawton. How about the forechecking? Ryer wings on him like a blanket. Heppel. Now a rink-wide pass, moving in over the line. Here's Nemeth now. He'll just control it, and the puck came back to center. Cincinnati fans on this Cincinnati club. They've lost 11 straight, but again, as we said in the pregame show, they've been competitive all year long. Here's Medill. Moving in over the line. Jeff Medill put it in behind the goal. Comes along to the near boards, the Claude Bilgrain, the former New Jersey Devil. They hold it along the boards. Medill dug it out. Here's Jeff Medill, lost it in the corner to Paul Gerard. Puck along the boards, Ryer battling for it. And the Wings now will clear it back out to the neutral zone again. Now short-handed, Ryer over the line, Galuppo the save will hold on. I'd like to welcome one of our new sponsors, the Kalamazoo Wings televised hockey, and it's J&B Tree Service. Kalamazoo Wings televised hockey is brought to you by J&B Professional Tree Service. J&B Professional Tree Service is fully insured, safe, clean, and dependable. J&B specializes in climbing, removal, topping, trimming, land clearing, stump removal, landscape chips, and seasoned firewood. That's J&B Professional Tree Service. The professionals for less. Welcome aboard Wings Hockey.
It's an excellent penalty killing, Mike, by the Kalamazoo Wings. They still have 9 seconds left to kill it off here, but they forced Cincinnati into making some mistakes here, and you can see and you can hear, I'm sure, from the fans here at Cincinnati, they're getting a little upset at the power play by Cincinnati.
9 seconds to go in that Cincinnati power play. Kalamazoo Wings coming into tonight's game last in the league in the penalty killing department at 76%, but believe me, lately they've been much better than that. Tire now with Cincinnati back at full strength will play it into the Kalamazoo Wing zone. Moylan battling along the boards. Puck came loose, and now in the left wing boards to center is Kennedy. He'll play it into Cincinnati end. Now back after Shaughnessy. There's Shaughnessy in behind the goal. 13:40 to go in the second period. Mario Tyer over the line. Here's Tyer for the Cincinnati Cyclones. In behind the net to Hareid. Back to the point. Wrist shot. What a save. Torquia let go by Flickle. 13:28 to go in the second period. It's Kalamazoo 1, Cincinnati nothing here on the Kalamazoo Wing Television Network.
For a snow thrower that will handle any snowfall, we suggest a Toro Power Curve. They're lightweight, easy to handle, and throw snow up to 30 feet. So they're perfect for those times when it really comes down. See the complete line of Toro Power Curve snow throwers at these Toro dealers.
Good look at Mario Tyer, the former Kalamazoo Wing. A guy that, as hockey players say, could dangle. This guy can really handle the biscuit. Second leading scorer, Cincinnati. Wings a 1-0 lead. There's Black to center. He'll dump the puck into the Cincinnati zone. One hop there by the netminder Gallupo, side of the goal. Greg Cox to his own blue line. There's Cox firing the puck into the Wings end. James Black's got it, chopped it off the boards. Tyer held up along the boards. And the Wings now will start the center. Gerard. Paul Gerard over the line to drive, and Gallupo got a piece of that and deflected it off the glass in behind the goal. Here comes Cincinnati back. Tyer at the wing line. Right in front of the Cincinnati player bench. Puck went in behind the goal. Melrose for the Kalamazoo Wing. In behind Mike Torquia. James Black to center. Over the line with Burrell. Drop pass Gerard. Now to Black. Played at side of the goal. Haru from a steep angle. Ripped one and Gallupo knocked it away. Puck along the boards. Left point Black. Out in front of the goal to Eve Haru. Here's Haru. He tried to work it back to the point. Wings couldn't hold it in. Mitchell took over. And on a delayed offside, he'll fire it back into the Cincinnati end. 12:06 to go, second period. Glad to have you along, everybody. Tim Leonard will play it back into the Cincinnati end. Heppel's got it, cleared it along the boards. Now it's Meller right out in front of Leonard, and he scores! And it's 2-0, Kalamazoo. Meller to Lenardon, and the Wings move on top 2-0 at 8:07. And for Tim Leonard on the air, number 12.
Yeah, great heads-up play by Kip Miller, keeping that puck again off the boards there. Takes it from his skates to his stick, passes right over to Timmy Lenardon. Leonard makes no mistake at all and catches on the short side to make it a 2-0 game.
Right off the post, great camera work, guys. 2-0, Wings have the lead. On the face-off, Cincinnati will play it along the boards again. Here's Derek Smith. Now puck went far boards. Roy Mitchell to the line. Shaughnessy. Meller tried to hold it in. Cincinnati will start back out. Here come the Cyclones. Down the boards they go. R.C. Norton's got it. Play still deep in the Kalamazoo Wing end. In behind the Wing rookie goaltender, Mike Torquia. Now Shaughnessy. Derek Smith picked up a loose puck to center. Here's Derek Smith over the line. He waits for Lenardon, who would have been offside. And Smith will dump it into the Cincinnati zone. 11 minutes to go, second period, 2-0. Wings have the lead. Now Lawrence to McGowan. In the corner, puck went in behind the net. Left point, here's Straub. Straub for the Wings, driving one, fired it wide. Right point, Moylan poke check, spun around by Norton. Good recovery there by the Wing defenseman, Dave Moylan. Two Cyclones on him, they would have been gone. Now Lawrence, rink wide, over the line to Kennedy. Kennedy tried to center for Straub, got to tee that one up. Straub's got it, put it in behind the goal for Moylan. Play still deep in the Cincinnati Cyclone zone. Kennedy for the Wings, out in front, McGowan side of the goal. Lawrence, he scores! 3-0. Mark Lawrence scores the goal.
Mark Lawrence, 13th goal of the year. A lot of heads-up play by Kalamazoo Wings, keeping that puck in there.
Let's take a timeout. But the Wings now lead it by a score of 3-0 here on the Kalamazoo Wings Television Network.
You are entering the land of golf equipment buying confusion.
So many clubs, so many choices. Where do I go? Who can I talk to?
The search can go on forever unless you choose the proper path, the one that leads to Pro Golf Discount.
It's Pro Golf Discount's after Christmas inventory blowout sale. Save up to 70% at every department and shop where the wings shop. It's Pro Golf Discount, Westnedge and Kilgore in Kalamazoo.
Pro Golf Discount. For golfers, it's the promised land, not the land of promises.
Mike Miller back with you here at Cincinnati, the Kalamazoo Wings. Boy, they got the bags on now at Cincinnati. It's like the old New Orleans Saints. Oh my, it's not a good sign. They still draw here. This could probably be their smallest crowd of the year. Another dangerous play as Peralt moves in, but the Wings have made it 3-0 on a Mark Lawrence goal. Lawrence from McGowan and Kennedy at 9:39.
Well, another important goal for Kalamazoo. It gives them a 3-goal cushion. And we kind of a little afraid of that the first period, Mike. I guess when they have shot Cincinnati 17-7, but yet only had a 1-0 lead. So it's comforting to know that they got 3 goals now, and they just keep applying the pressure on Cincinnati.
Neil, you're exactly right. How many times have you seen it? Clubs come out and dominate and outshoot teams like that. And again, as you mentioned, the 1-goal lead, that scares you on nights. Right point, Gerard ripped one wide. Puck went in behind the goal. Tire. Wings just doing a great job of bottling up this Cincinnati club before they can get out of their own end. Now, Irene, right wing pass to big Dagenet over the line. They dump it in behind the wing goal. Tire centered out in front. Puck's drive. Stop made Torquay. A rebound. Dagenet knocked away again by the wing netminder. Now they wheel deal corner. There's out in front. Cox couldn't get the shot off. Wrist shot. Torquay got a piece of it and went off the crossbar. Play still deep in the wing zone. Cincinnati now applying some pressure. Play still deep in the Kalamazoo wing zone, and they'll clear it out. To center. Here's Haru over the line. He's hit. Nice check by Nelson. And Cincinnati, defenseman Nelson derails Haru as he made his way into the wing zone. Now here's Hareen. Hareen put it in behind the net. Now in the corner behind the goal for Cox. Cox tried to center. It's knocked away. Heppel in behind the goal. They center again for Lawton. Wings will chop it out. On the left side, Black with the cannon. Over the line, pulled up. James Black now turning. Put it in the corner for Baralt. Here's Baralt centering through, and that play didn't work. Wings held it in for a moment. Eventually deflected back into the wing zone. Doug Baralt back after it. Tried to clear. Puck luckily made it out of the zone. Lenardon back for the Wings over the line. Got it through for Derek Smith, the captain, in behind the goal. On the right side now. Here's Kerr at center. Kerr had it taken away by Lenardon, and Lenardon will play it to the Cincinnati zone. Icing call coming. 8 minutes and 9 seconds to go in the second period. Whoop, they wave it off. Wings got there first. We were going to take a break, but great hustle by the Wings. Straub now takes over. Now to Miller. Miller along the boards battling. Boy, I'll tell you, here comes Apple and Miller along the boards, pushing, shoving, general conversation. Boys will be boys. Nothing will happen from this skirmish. 7:53 to go in the second. Let's take a timeout. Possible penalties coming. 3-0 Wings here in the Kalamazoo Wings Television Network.
There we were, a jillion miles outside of the hood. The bus got a flat, got no jack. Homie's gonna cut his grass. What the?
4 1/2. If 4 1/2 here down for the $6 sold.
The man's round sells, but he's got no beef. Pardon me.
That was there.
Huh? Yo, MC cow selling, but fresh.
Back at Cincinnati. 7:53 to go in the second period. Well, Mr. Martin opted not to call any penalties in that skirmish. On the face-off, Wings Brian Straub, whose parents, by the way, are tuned in Bozeman, Montana, on the dish tonight. Brian looking for the coordinates before tonight's game. Now Kennedy over the line, slipped one to the goal mouth area. Moylan in behind the goal, centering pass came out. Lawless knocked it away. Right point, Brian Straub. Puck in behind the net. Up the left side it goes, and here comes the Cincinnati Cyclones back out. All Wallace to center. Here's Wallace over the line. Wallace cutting in a drive, and Torquia the save. Now back to the left point. Shot as he shot. Torquia left leg, threw it out. Made the pad save, and the puck cleared to center. Now Brian Lawton over the line offside. Stoppage in play. I'd like to remind everybody that Wings Hockey is brought to you in part by All Phase Electric. They service Wings Stadium. They service most of the Kalamazoo area. All Phase Electric. Welcome to Wings Hockey. We'll be back with more after this from the Cincinnati Gardens.
The Cal-C Credit Union Home Equity Loan is a line of credit you can use to purchase just about anything important to you or your family. And just like your mortgage, the interest is usually tax deductible. Call us. Find out why the Cal-C Credit Union Home Equity Loan is not just a great value, it's a great opportunity.
Cal-C Credit Union is our family, serving yours.
Back in Cincinnati, 3-0 the Wings have the lead as they get a pair of goals a minute 32 apart. That's Lenardon and the Lawrence goals. 3-0 Wings have the lead. Puck along the boards, Wings Gerard. Up the right side, Haru, James Black at center, drove one. Nelson took it off the leg. Puck ends up in the gear of defenseman Dagenet. Let's take another quick timeout. It's 3-0 Kalamazoo. 6:39 to go in the second period here on the Kalamazoo Wings Television Network.
People don't stay at La Quinta Inns just because they happen to see one everywhere they go. Although, it is a convenient excuse. Call 1-800-531-5900. La Quinta Inns, America's hotel value.
Back at Cincinnati, 3-0 Wings had the lead. Mike Miller along with Neil Meadmore. I'm telling you what, Neil, you hit the nail right in the head. We got to televise everything.
I know it.
Wings play excellent when they're on the screen. Now Gerard at his own blue line. That goes for anybody, potential sponsors out there tonight that are tuned in. It's an expensive ordeal, but we're glad to bring it to you. And I'd like to thank the people that have sponsored it. Now Dagenet's got it, played the puck into the wing zone, drop pass Norton, now a quick drive curve. For check that was Christian, and Torquia made the save. Wings back out to center. Here's Dougie Baralt, leads the eye with 8 short-handed goals over the line. Played it to James Black in the circle, right out in front. There's a drive by Baralt, fired that high and wide of the goal. Now it's Nelson. They play a pass to Bill Grain at center. Claude Bill Grain in over the wing line in the back end. Black got back. Break it up for the Wings. Then Bill Grain a move, and Torquia was screened, and it was knocked down out in front. Now held in. Norton drove one that almost went off the stick of Mitchell, but Torquia knocked it away. Play still deep in the Kalamazoo wing zone. Baralt hit by Norton. Black. Now Roy Mitchell to center. Here's Mitchell over the line to James Black, a move. Here's Black driving with scoring. James Black, and it's 4-0. Rocket for the right wing circle. Beats Gallupo, 4-zip Wings.
Pretty move. James Black coming on the right side here. Gives a head fake on Al Tour, and Al Tour kind of committed himself and is kicking himself now, but just gave him a little bit of a head fake. James Black with a great shot of his, put it in the left bottom corner. Lupo didn't have a chance in that one.
4-zip Kalamazoo. 5:14 to go, second period. Now the puck went over the wing line. Tyre centered one right out in front. Hareen deflected that right on. Knocked away by Torquia. Puck went back to the Cincinnati zone. Back after it, Flickle. Now ahead to Hareen, and that puck will go to the wing zone. The big fella Torquia out of the goal mouth. Didn't clear it. Hareen was there and butchered it. Puck came back center. Flickle on the defense. Ahead to Cox at center. Smith on him. Flickle's got it. Now to center over the line. Puck went into the wing zone. Torquia left it in behind the goal. And now they turn with it. Hareen in the corner. Nemeth hit him. Puck centered. Loose out in front. They continue to jam away for that loose puck. Right point, Flickle, a drive. Torquia safe. Rebound! Put wide by Cox. He was right out in front. Now Tyre along the boards. Put it in behind the net. Nemeth cleared it. Not out. Flickle couldn't hold it in. Todd Flickle near boards. Played it back into the wing zone. 3 minutes, 57 seconds to go, second period. 4-zip, Wings on top. Penalty call coming. We'll be back with the power play for Cincinnati after this. 4-0 Wings on the Kalamazoo Wings television network.
The best just got better at Best Ford Lincoln Mercury. The best quality proven performers. The best prices on new models. The best service from factory-trained technicians. And the best advice from friendly professional people you can count on. The truth is, the best is yet to come for 93. Best Ford Lincoln Mercury. I-94 and Pipestone Road, across from Bayer and the Mall. The best just got better.
Back at Cincinnati, power play opportunity coming up for the Cyclones. Mitchell's off for interference at 16:06. Cincinnati on the power play. This is their first power play chance of the night. Nope, check that. Their second power play chance of the night. Now back to the right point it goes. Here's Nelson, a drive. It's deflected side of the goal. Back to the backhand. And the save made by Torquia. Oh, I don't know if it was Cox. Was that Cox side of the goal or Big Dagenet? No, it was Lawton.
Lawton.
Oh, what a stop by the big fella.
Brian Lawton deflection here up to Torquia. And Brian Lawton couldn't come down with the puck, couldn't get the handle on it. And by the time he did, Torquia just happened to manage and get himself over there to block the shot.
What a stop. Mike Torquia. A stop at the side of the goal. Cincinnati in the power play. Right point, Nelson. He put it in behind the goal. Watton's got it. On the boards to Lawless. Here's Lawless for Cincinnati. Ryer fell down. Lawton in behind the goal. Centered one! And Torque got a piece of that and deflected it away. Now Lawless up for Lawton. Put it through the goal mouth. Dagenet center. Wings intercept, and here comes Ryer to center. Over the line for James Black. Puck went in the corner, now in behind the goal. 1:17 to go. Power play opportunity for the Cincinnati Cyclones. Wallace to center. Here's Paul Wallace over the line. Here's Wallace on the left wing boards. Turning with it. Now back to the left point. Dagenet shot that deflected to the corner. Wallace operating left wing boards. Left point Dagenet. Right point drive right on. Nelson had saved Torquia, and the puck is cleared back to center. Doug Baralt will slide it into the Cincinnati zone. 38 seconds to go. Cincinnati power play. Mike Miller, Neil Meadmore with you here at the Cincinnati Garden. Is center. Over the line it goes. Drop pass, intercepted. Wings Baralt. He's got it at center, and Dougie Baralt will slip it to the Cincinnati end. 23 seconds to go in the power play opportunity for Cincinnati. Here's Bill Grain to center. Over the line. Would have looked offside. Bill Grain's got it. And it's intercepted this time by Lawrence. It'll go the length of the ice. 2 minutes to go, second period. Kalamazoo Wings with a 4-0 lead. Cincinnati's power play is over. On comes Mitchell. Puck into the wing zone. They battle for it along the boards. Christian out in front. Phil Green, a shot. They score! On Phil Green. Out of Port-au-Prince, Haiti. A couple of moves. Put it in behind the big fella who loses the shutout here in his 21st birthday.
Well, Mike, you can only stop so many saves there. I mean, they kept battering the puck at him, and Torquia finally just gave up the one rebound there, and there he is, Claude Noel got the one shot on Torquia, but he had enough resistance to keep at it and got the rebound and put it behind Torquia and didn't have a chance in that one.
Well, Mike Torquia was excellent, but Phil Green, as you mentioned, Neil, a couple of moves and the big fella didn't have a chance. It's 4-1. 1:42 to go. Now back after it, Nemeth. That's an icing call. Let's take a timeout. 4-1 here on the Kalamazoo Wings television network.
Give your home lasting beauty with a genuine overhead door. We offer a magnificent selection of quality garage doors and automatic opener systems designed with the discriminating homeowner in mind. Professionally installed, durable, and attractive, a new door and opener from Overhead Door will enhance the value and appearance of your home for years to come.
Look for the ribbon, look for the name, the original Overhead Door.
Overhead Door, for value and beauty. Our name sets the standard.
Back at Cincinnati, 4-1 the score. Great job by all the guys in the truck tonight. Tom Bruce, JD, John Garrett, everybody upstairs here, Kevin Bess, all the camera people. A stoppage in play, and I'd like to remind everybody that Kalamazoo Wings Hockey is brought to you in part by J&B Tree Service. Wings Hockey, here on the network, brought to you by J&B Professional Tree Service. J&B Professional Tree Service is fully insured. They're safe, they're clean, they're dependable. J&B specializes in climbing, removal, topping, trimming, land clearing, stump removal, landscape chips, and seasoned firewood. J&B Professional Tree Service. Remember this, the professionals for less. John Wardlaw and his crew. This spring, you want a tree service? There's only one in Kalamazoo. Remember this now, it's J&B Tree Service. Galupo, he looked at by the trainer down there.
I think Cincinnati called a timeout, Mike, to look for Al Tour's jockstrap hiding up in the rafters somewhere after James Black just undressed him for that goal.
Believe me.
You got to feel bad for Alvin. I was talking to him before the game, too. And he's going through a tough time, feeling the effects of losing 11 games in a row. So they're going through some rough times right now.
All right, point. Mitchell drive, Galupo save. Al Tours got it. Played it along the boards to center. Nemeth hit by Tyre. And they're going to whistle that play down with 1:27 to go in the second period. But I'd like to remind everybody, support our sponsors. J&B Tree Service, one of them. Appreciate their support of Wings Hockey here in the Kalamazoo Wing Television Network. Now 4-1. I guess the one thing I was pulling for, Neil, what a story to shut out for Mr. Torquia on his 21st birthday. But Phil Green put an end to that.
Yeah, it's pretty tough, especially on the road, Mike, anyways, to preserve a shuttle like that. And you just know it's a matter of time before Mr. Morgan's going to call a couple of penalties in Kalamazoo.
Run the face-off, Nemeth. Got it, puck along the boards. McGowan will play it into the Cincinnati zone. Galupo will hold on. Scotty Bud Melvin will be interviewing somebody between periods. We're not sure yet. We'll pass that along to you when we can. Look at some of the Cincinnati fans there. A guy with a radio tuned into our old friend, Terry Ficcarelli, former voice of the Kalamazoo Wings, right down below us. Face off to Galupo's left. On the draw. Right point shot. Galupo the save as Boylan let it go. That came along the boards. Lawton had it knocked away. Cincinnati back. Minute to go in the second period. Here's Baralt over the line. He'll send it up the right side. James Black into the Cincinnati zone. Dropped a pass for Strauba's shot deflected away. Now they turn with it. Cincinnati's Lawless on the right wing boards to Kerr to center. Over the line, back to Lawless, a drive deflected away by Moyer. Knocked in behind the goal, they battled for it, stoppage in play with 33 seconds to go in the second period. 4-1, Wings have the lead. Well, I tell you, you can't take Cincinnati lightly. I had the opportunity to do the IHL's national telecast Sunday from Milwaukee when Milwaukee played Cincinnati. And Milwaukee had a 5-0 lead in that contest at 1:10 of the second period that ended up 6-5 for Milwaukee. Cincinnati came back big time and actually were applying the pressure late in the game. So the Wings got to have a good third period.
Yeah, you just can't afford to lay down at all, Mike. Even though you got a 4-1 lead, Kalamazoo is still working pretty hard, though. I mean, they giving up the one power play goal, but you got to give them a lot of credit. They're still working hard out there.
Gerard on the right side. Now to center. Nelson knocked it down. Wings will dump it back in with Melrose doing the work. Smith in after. 20 seconds to go in the period. Side of the goal, now in behind the net. And now to center. Over the line goes Dagenet. Now to Lawless. Left side of the goal, went through the goal mouth. Dagenet, 2 seconds to go, will drive one, and the buzzer sound. The second period's over, and the Kalamazoo Wings, after 2, have a 4-1 lead. We'll be back with more here from Cincinnati.
Hi, I'm Mark Ransom. Here at Kalamazoo Tire Brokers, we care about you, your car, and the environment. Because we care, we have just purchased a state-of-the-art antifreeze recycling machine. Now, for $44.95, you can be assured your car's cooling system is fully serviced and the antifreeze is restored to its proper pH and freeze protection level. All this with our new antifreeze recycling machine. So be good to yourself, be good to your car, and be good to the environment. Come to Kalamazoo Tire Brokers today. Thank you.
You are entering the land of golf equipment buying confusion.
So many clubs, so many choices. Where do I go? Who can I talk to?
The search can go on forever unless you choose the proper path, the one that leads to Pro Golf Discount.
It's Pro Golf Discount's after Christmas inventory blowout sale. Save up to 70% at every department and shop where the Wings shop. It's Pro Golf Discount, Westnedge and Kilgore in Kalamazoo.
Pro Golf Discount. For golfers, it's the promised land, not the land of promises.
The Kalamazoo Wings Television Hockey Network is brought to you by Pizza Chef. Pizza Chef gourmet pizzas are made with only wholesome ingredients and offer pizza lovers a healthy and satisfying difference. Tasty subs, tossed salads, and delicious garlic bread round out our tempting menu. Pizza Chef, the pizza you can score with.
Driving one save made, they score!
Visit Pizza Chef at 4312 South Westnedge, next to Blockbuster Video.
Introducing Wallenwood Springs Golf Club, Grand Rapids' newest championship golf course. Designed by Jerry Matthews, Wallenwood Springs opens in May. Make the right club choice. Play Wallenwood Springs Golf Club in Jenison. A tradition of excellence continues. Lake Doster Golf Club is now open. Lake Doster is a premier course, home of the Vantage Classic Super Seniors Pro-Am, a public course in a classic country club style. Lake Doster Golf Club in Plainwell.
Like to remind everybody, Wings Hockey is brought to you by All Phase Electrical Supply Company in Kalamazoo. Appreciate their support. Welcome to Kalamazoo Wings Hockey for all your electrical needs. Remember, All Phase Electric Supply Company in Kalamazoo. From everything involved with electrical supplies, it's All Phase in the Kalamazoo area and surrounding areas, by the way, I might add. Well, Scotty Bud Melvin is downstairs talking to Kalamazoo Wing forward Tim Leonard. Leonard of the Kalamazoo Wings picking up his 12th goal tonight. Let's go downstairs with Scotty Bud and Tim.
Thanks, Mike. Our guest after period number 2, one of the guys wearing the assistant. He's wearing the A, Timmy Leonard, and he got a goal in that second period. Tell us about your goal first.
Derek Smith went hard on the puck, and The puck went around the sideboards, and Roy Mitchell kept it in, and Kip Miller made a beautiful pass to me in front of the net. I just shot along the ice and it went in.
How do you like playing with Derek Smith out there so far?
It's great. You know, he works so hard every night. He comes to play all the time. You know, it's Kip too. He's got such good skill. And I just come here and have fun and work as hard as I possibly can, and hope things turn out for myself and the team.
You guys have had it pretty rough lately, a lot on the road, and not having a lot of success on the road lately. I guess 5 games and 7 nights, I guess it was. You got to be tired, huh?
Yeah, you know, it starts to wear on you this time of year. It's just, you got to take care of yourself off the ice as well as on the ice. And we're just trying to stick together through this whole thing. And we had a meeting today that, you know, we got to come out in the first period and come out harder on the guys. And, you know, it's the veterans that got to lead the younger guys. And the younger guys have been playing a lot better than we have. But, you know, tonight the veterans have come to play, and so have the rookies. And, you know, it's going to be a good game. We're going to come up with a win.
Now, speaking of the younger guys, a lot up from Dayton lately, and a couple of contributions as well. Lawrence and also Tommy Nemeth. They've been playing pretty well, haven't they?
Yeah, as long as Mike Ryer, too, you know, like all the guys from Dayton have come up and played really well for us. And that's a plus. If you got that kind of talent in the system, you can bring them up from the East Coast League and they can come into the I and play as well as they have. And that's just a plus. And I love playing with those guys. They're great guys. And, you know, hopefully they'll keep going throughout the whole year.
Now, it's 4-1 right now. You guys are playing pretty well tonight. Are you surprised tonight that you're playing so well on the road since it's been tough lately?
Like I said, we had a meeting this morning, all the assistant captains and a couple of the veterans, and we talked things over. And we just said we got to come out of the chute in the first period because I think that's been our worst period of late. And, you know, we've done that. And now we got to come up with a third here and pour the coals to them and not stand back and just come up with a win.
Do you guys have a lot of meetings? Do you call the guys together once in a while and say, hey, let's do something?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Everybody gets along with us, even though it's been so tough on us this year. It's a good mixture, you know. It's a lot of young guys with the veterans, and we get along really well. So we talk to each other, and it's been pretty good.
Now, you're going to get a big lift. You're coming home this weekend for a couple of games. That's got to be good inside your head thinking, we're coming home.
Yeah, it's going to be nice to be home. I think my wife's a little disappointed because we've been on the road a lot. But, you know, that's a part of hockey. And, you know, it's great to come back home and be with our wives and friends and that. And we'll just go along as we are and come to on the weekend and play as hard as we can.
All right, good luck. Say hi to the wife.
Hi, Ange. See you later.
One of the Wings assistants, Tim Leonard, and he's headed back to the locker room. The Wings are up 4-1, end of 2. We're coming back with highlights on the Kalamazoo Wings television network.
I'd like to remind everybody those interviews with Scotty Bud Melvin and Kalamazoo Wing players and other hockey personnel is brought to you by Pizza Chef, the official pizza of Kalamazoo Wing televised hockey. 4-1, Wings have the lead here in Cincinnati.
People don't stay at La Quinta Inns just because they happen to see one everywhere they go. Although, it is a convenient excuse. Call 1-800-531-5900. La Quinta Inns, America's hotel value.
For a snow thrower that will handle any snowfall, we suggest a Toro Power Curve. They're lightweight, easy to handle, and throw snow up to 30 feet. So they're perfect for those times when it really comes down. See the complete line of Toro Power Curve snow throwers at these Toro dealers.
Is your Fiat finicky, Mazda misfiring, Honda hesitant, BMW busted, or your Toyota temperamental? At Foreign Auto Parts, they have the parts you need to keep your foreign car running right. They stock Haynes manuals, BAP Geon imported parts, Boga shock absorbers, NGK spark plugs, and much, much more. So if your Nissan's noisy, your Jaguar jittery, or your Saab sluggish, come to Foreign Auto Parts with 2 convenient locations, 453 West Kilgore and 8126 West Main.
People don't stay at La Quinta Inns just because of the big, quiet rooms. It's just something we've heard. Call 1-800-531-5900. La Quinta Inns, America's hotel value.
Well, back at Cincinnati, the Kalamazoo Wings, good news for our viewers. They have a 4-1 lead at the end of 2 periods of play over Cincinnati. The Kalamazoo Wings trying to snap a 7-game losing streak on the road. And a good period for the Wings, Neil.
Yeah, definitely, Mike. It's always encouraging anyway to see the Wings, especially when you're playing on the road. They go ahead and they got a 4-1 lead. just can't afford to let up because I know, like I said, Dennis Desrosiers is going to have those guys fired up for the last period, and I'm sure they'll come out storming.
Now the Kalamazoo Wings, let's recap it for you. The Wings led it 1-0 at the end of one period of play. It was Tom Nemeth getting the goal for the Kalamazoo Wings. But then in the second period, Tim Leonard made it 2-0 at 8:07. Roy Mitchell and Kip Miller got the assist on this goal.
Well, that's a play by Kip Miller, and he's playing a lot better as of late, and he's fed it over to Timmy Lenardon on the taking the puck off the boards, and Timmy Leonard made no mistake at all.
Kalamazoo then built their lead to 3-0 as Mark Lawrence got his 13th goal of the year. McGowan and Kennedy draw the assist on that goal, and the Wings had a 3-0 lead. And again, Mark Lawrence, number 13 in the year, McGowan and Kennedy, and some more great passing on that goal, Neil, and a great play to give us a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, a lot of pressure applied in Cincinnati's zone. They just kept hustling, and Mark Lawrence, who just more or less kind of hung around in front of the net there, waited for the rebound there, took the puck and pumped it in behind the goalie.
James Black then for the Kalamazoo Wings made it 4-0 at 14 minutes and 46 seconds. Roy Mitchell got the lone assist, and Black makes no mistake. He can really shoot it. He showed it again on that shot.
Yeah, he had Al Tour coming on the right side there, and Al just kind of had his feet standing, had to commit himself, and James Black in on the right side and give him a little bit of a head fake, and Alvin, again, he's probably just still sitting there in the dressing room right now, kind of wondering what happened to James. And James went around him like he was standing still and went for the fourth goal.
His 20th of the year, by the way, from Roy Mitchell, and he's a guy we got to get going. James Black's a guy with that shot and that speed. He's a fella that really, realistically, it's an outside shot to score 50 goals in the International Hockey League.
Yeah, he's got one of the harder shots I've ever seen in hockey, and you know, it doesn't happen very often. Anyway, you see a guy of his caliber just unload a shot, and he's had a number of goals this year just due to his shot from the blue line. And you'll see here, again, it's not a overpowering shot at all, but he just happens to place it in the right corner, and the goalie didn't have much of a chance at all. Kind of put it to the far post.
Well, the Wings then lose their shutout, and Mike Torkey on his 21st birthday, geez, that would have been great. I think everybody remembers their 21st birthday, but Claude Bilgrain, it was a 2-on-1. Mike didn't have a chance. Bilgrain gets number 11 of the year, with Norton and Christian drawing the assist. That coming at 18-16. Again, Bilgrain his 11th, and that's where we stand right now, a 4-1 lead for Kalamazoo, in pretty good shape at the end of two periods of play. But Bilgrain ruining the shutout of Mike Torkey late there in the second period. Shots on goal in the period, we'll get to that in a moment, but certainly, again, the Wings, another great period in period number 2, but Bilgrain ruining the shutout, and here it is.
Yeah, here's Claude, just being persistent again. He hit the one shot on Torkia, and Torkia came up big on the first save there, but he just couldn't handle the second shot that came in behind him, and Claude just kind of happened to wrap in the rebound.
So the Wings with a 4-1 lead here at the end of two periods of play, trying to regroup and get ready in the third period of play. Kalamazoo Wings, again, trying to snap a 7-game losing streak. It's been great so far, Neil. I mean, I think Bill Inglis and Bill Goldsworthy both got to be happy with the Wings through two periods of play. Shots on goal, Kalamazoo through two periods of play has 28. Cincinnati Cyclones 23. Mike Torkia, Cyclones have put 23 shots in his direction. He's made 22 saves, and Sandy Galupo, he's been outstanding as well. He's made 24 saves. 4-1 Wings have the lead. Derek Martin hasn't been busy tonight. The Wings have been penalized 2 times for 4 minutes, 2 Cincinnati power plays. They're 0 for 2. Cincinnati penalized once, and the Kalamazoo Wings 1 power play. They are 0 for 1. But a good period for Kalamazoo, again, with a 4-1 lead. And I'd like to remind everybody our graphics between periods is brought to you by Gilmore's Department Stores. Consider it yours. That's Gilmore's. Well, the Wings, again, 4-1 here at Cincinnati, and they continue this battle with Indianapolis. And what a big 2 points this will be. The Wings having 3 games in 3 days starting on the weekend, including a couple of home contests.
Well, it's kind of a confidence booster, Mike, especially when you've lost 7 in a row on the road. You come off here, and Cincinnati, you got to feel good about beating Cincinnati, even though they've lost 11 in a row. But, you know, you're winning a game on the road is kind of a confidence builder, and you go back at home, and it's encouraging because, you know, there's nothing worse than losing a couple games on the road and you're going back home to your home rink. But, you know, the fans, I think, have seen a good caliber of play from the Wings this year, and the sport's been there.
Well, 4-1, the Kalamazoo Wings have the lead here at the Cincinnati Gardens. A good look at the playing surface. A building, again, as I mentioned, in their open, looks a lot like Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. This building built in 1947. Also the home of Xavier University basketball, which moved to the top 25. They got two teams here in Cincinnati now in the top 25, the University of Cincinnati and Xavier. But tonight's attendance, 4,927, their smallest crowd of the year. And it's the Wilkins Auto Body star of the game we have coming up here. Not star of the game, but our crash of the game. And I'd like to welcome Wilkins Auto Body to Kalamazoo Wings hockey. Remember, the next time you have an unwanted collision, remember Wilkins Auto Body with over 20 years of experience. Wilkins Auto Body servicing all makes and models of foreign and domestic vehicles. Wilkins Auto Body, your frame and underbody repair specialist. They're located at 3600 Lake Street, west of Sprinkle. There's the collision of the game. Puck went in behind the goal, and the recipient of our collision of the game. Good work, guys. Dave Moylan takes a hit there from an unnamed. Get the license number of that guy.
I think that was
Cincinnati Cyclone. Darcy Norton. Again, the Wings lead it by a score of 4-1 after 2 periods of play. We'll be back with more hockey here from the Cincinnati Gardens after this timeout.
We were trying to solve the mystery of beechwood aging. Beechwood aging isn't some huge, mysterious secret. It's a nearly forgotten example of that brewmaster's art. So expensive, so time-consuming that Bud's the only brewer that still does it.
If it's not beechwood aged, it's just not right.
Okay, so how do you make beer if it's not beechwood aged?
Yeah.
Some things are better left unknown.
The Plan America Center, located at Cal C Credit Union's Lover's Lane office, is a financial management program designed to help our members develop and achieve their financial goals. Remember, the right answers for planning your future are right where you belong.
Cal C Credit Union is our family, serving yours.
He tried, they score! Go to the line of Beckett, he scores! Wings 2-on-1, common zone. Throw it, he scores! Southwest Michigan's team, your Kalamazoo Wings. On the boards, had him go off the skate, picked up a loose puck, walked right out in front, rebound, they score!
Introducing Wallenwood Springs Golf Club, Grand Rapids' newest championship golf course. Designed by Jerry Matthews, Wallenwood Springs opens in May. Make the right club choice. Play Wallenwood Springs Golf Club in Jenison. A tradition of excellence continues. Lake Doster Golf Club is now open. Lake Doster is a premier course, home of the Vantage Classic Super Seniors Pro-Am, a public course in a classic country club style. Lake Doster Golf Club in Plainwell.
Well, back at Cincinnati, both teams coming onto the ice. We're moments away from the start of the third period. It's 4-1, Kalamazoo. We'll be back with third period action. Coming up here for the Cincinnati Gardens is the Kalamazoo Wings try to snap this 7-game road losing streak here in the Wings Television Network.
They called it Whistling Death. In World War II, the Corsair fighter bomber was the scourge of the Pacific and the envy of the world. And you were flying it. Ride the new flight simulator at the Kalamazoo Aviation History Museum. The flight is simulated. The goosebumps are real.
Is your Fiat finicky, Mazda misfiring, Honda hesitant, BMW busted, or your Toyota temperamental? At Foreign Auto Parts, they have the parts you need to keep your foreign car running right. They stock Haynes manuals, BAP Geon imported parts, Boga shock absorbers, NGK spark plugs, and much, much more. So if your Nissan's noisy, your Jaguar jittery, or your Saab sluggish, Come to Foreign Auto Parts with 2 convenient locations, 453 West Kilgore and 8126 West Main.
Like to remind everybody again, the Kalamazoo Wings televised hockey brought to you by All Phase Electric Supply Company in Kalamazoo, servicing Wings Stadium and, well, actually the whole state of Michigan. They're a big company with branches throughout, not only Southwest Michigan, but the whole state of Michigan. Welcome aboard, All Phase Electric Supply Company. Ready to go here in the third. There's Mike Torchia, the Kalamazoo Wing netminder. Referee Derek Martin moves to center. And the Wings lead it by a score of 4-1. On the face-off, Lawrence dropped it back to Melrose in the left wing boards. Puck went into the Cincinnati zone. Heppel back after it in behind the goal. Alan Heppel in behind Sandy Galupo. And Cincinnati will organize. Al Tour to center. Gerard knocked it down. Long pass to McGowan. Over the line, a backhand. Galupo to save. McGowan in after his own rebound. Just underway here in the third. The Wings a 4-1 lead. Here's Lawton for Cincinnati. Over the line to Lawless. Fed it through. Puck loose out in front of Drake. They score. Look out. That's a big goal for Cincinnati. Big goal for Cincinnati. Hold on, everybody. Don't put it in the win column yet.
Well, Mike, I tell you, you're right. That is a big goal for Cincinnati. Gets the fans back in the game here, especially early in the period. Here's some pretty plays. Passing pucks back and forth, but here's Alan Heppel comes up from his point position. And kind of strange to see him in front of the net, but he puts it right between Torchia's legs. Pulls the gap to 4-2 in this game. You're right, it's not over yet.
Cincinnati pulls to within 2. Tonight's attendance here at the Cincinnati Gardens, by the way, 4,927. Puck went back into the Cincinnati zone. Dagenet in behind the net will clear to center. Back after it in the Kalamazoo Wing defense, Tom Nemeth. Nemeth in behind the Kalamazoo Wing goaltender, Mike Torchia. Nemeth to center. Here's the Wing rookie defenseman over the line. Puck went to the corner. Dagenet hit Nemeth. They battle for it. Puck loose side of the goal. They bang away. Galupo hops in that one to hold on. 18:46 to go in the third. 4-2 Kalamazoo here on the Kalamazoo Wings Television Network.
If you want a beer that drinks easy like a light and has real draft taste, why not make a change for the better? Refreshingly different, Bud Dry. Bud Dry is one beer that drinks easy like a light and has real draft taste. So why not come around to something refreshingly different? Try Bud Dry.
Back at Cincinnati. 4-2, face off in the Cincinnati zone to Galupo's left. Meller, Smith, and Lenardon up front for the Wings. Cincinnati over the line. Irene cutting wide, walking out in front, and put it through the goal mouth. Penalty call coming up for the Kalamazoo Wings. Cincinnati will go on the power play. Let's take another quick break. It's 4-2. Kalamazoo, power play opportunity coming up here on the Kalamazoo Wings Television Network.
The Kalamazoo Wings Television Hockey Network is brought to you by Pizza Chef. Pizza Chef gourmet pizzas are made with only wholesome ingredients and offer pizza lovers a healthy and satisfying difference. Tasty subs, tossed salads, and delicious garlic bread round out our tempting menu. Pizza Chef, the pizza you can score with.
Driving one save, made, they score!
Visit Pizza Chef at 4312 South Westnedge, next to Blockbuster Video.
Back at Cincinnati, 4-2. Cincinnati in the power play. Wingstraub is off for holding at 128. Power play opportunity for Cincinnati, number 3. They're 0 for their previous 2. They set up in behind the goaltender, Gallupo. Lawton out of his own end. Now dropped it back to Nelson on the left wing boards for Dagenet. Moving over the line was Kerr, now to Wallace, and that plays offside. Bring the faceoff out to the neutral zone. Penalty killer's got to get going here, Neil.
Yeah, Mike, you can't afford to let Cincinnati score another goal and make it a one-goal game here. It's always nice to know and comforting to know that you got a 2-goal advantage here. So Kalamazoo's got to make sure that they sit tight there, not commit themselves, and just play their positions well.
Well, we had a penalty call coming up there for a moment as Derek Martin made his way to the penalty timekeeper's area. Not sure what that was all about.
That was a two-line pass, Mike.
On the face-off, more confusion. Well, they say Lawless from Kerr and Lawton, and that is not true. It was Heppel who was falling to the ice we saw in the replay. They say Lawless, but we'll get a change on that, I'm sure. Indeed, in the replay, it was Alan Heppel falling down. Well, maybe not. Maybe it was 13, as opposed to 23, but we'll wait and see. Cincinnati on the power play as they organize in their own end. Cincinnati on the right wing boards, Lawton over the line. Here's Lawton, dropped it back to Wallace. There's Wallace now turning. Put it in behind the net, back to the point to Dagenet. A drive, fired wide, rebound. Sent wide to the goal. It's all Cincinnati right now. 1:07 to go on the Straub penalty. Now along the boards, battling. Derek Smith tried to work it out. Dagenet held it in. Peralt, Smith, Gerard, Melrose penalty killers for the Wings. Here's Derek Smith, short-handed to center. Ahead to Peralt. Long wrist shot, Gallupo knocked it away. 44 seconds to go in the Straub penalty. On the left wing boards, here's Lawless over the line. Centering pass, Bill Grain to Meadmore, backhand, and Corky in the save. Oh, great chance for Cincinnati. After the game tonight, Scotty Bud Melvin will be talking to our star of the game. And our star of the game is brought to you by, well, not really our star of the game, our Landmark Jewelers gem of the game. That'll be the best goal of the game. Remember, Landmark Jewelers have joined Kalamazoo Wing Hockey here. Appreciate it. We'll be selecting our Landmark Jewelers gem of the game. They're your neighborhood jewelry store. Personal service in a private, comfortable setting. It's located in the East Edge Plaza, corner of Sprinkle and Gall. Cincinnati in the power play. Puck came to center. We got a couple of great features. Our Handel Stein and Gift star of the game and our Landmark Jewelers gem of the game incorporated in each and every one of these Kalamazoo Wing telecasts. 14 seconds to go. And the power play opportunity. Cincinnati operating, organizing. Here they come out of their own end of center. Puck went to the wing zone. Norton in after it. Boylan hit him. Along the boards it goes. Now Norton in behind the net. Penalty to Straub is over. Now Bilgrain walks out of the corner. And Porky with a big move. Poke checked him. Now they get it back. A quick drive. Another penalty calls. Norton let it go. He was hauled down. On the delayed penalty. Look out. Here they come. Medill to Lawton. A shot blocked by Kennedy. Now Flickle back to the point to Heppel. Delayed call. Net is empty. Gallupo's on the bench. Extra attacker on Cincinnati. Now Heppel circles back into his own end. Now to center. Intercepted Ryer. And the Wings will be penalized again. Let's take another timeout. Here comes another Cincinnati power play on the Kalamazoo Wing Television Network. It's 4-2 Wings.
Visit Vicksburg Chrysler Plymouth Dodge Jeep Eagle, Michigan's largest volume full-line Chrysler dealer. For car buying made fun again. Choose from over 200 new and used vehicles in stock. See our huge selection of minivans, Jeep Cherokees, and Dodge Dakota trucks. Our courteous and professional staff is standing by to put you in the right car or truck. Vicksburg Chrysler Plymouth Dodge Jeep Eagle is located just 10 minutes south of the Kalamazoo Airport on Portage Road. Call us at 649-2000. We're a Pentastar Award dealer. We make car buying fun again.
Fourth power play chance for Cincinnati. Moylan's in the penalty box for tripping at 4 minutes and 29 seconds. 4 minutes and 9 seconds, excuse me. Puck went into the Cincinnati zone. Fourth power play chance for the Cyclones. The Wings have held them off. Here comes Nelson. Now ahead to Lawton over the line. Wallace played it into the Kalamazoo Wing zone. Now back to the left point it goes. Wallace to Desrosiers. Wing Smith will try to work it out. Heffels got it. Check that. That's Wallace, top of the circle. Back to the right point to Nelson. Puck back in behind the goal. 1:18 to go in the Moylan penalty. Wings can't work it out. Wallace near board. All Wallace. Battling with Gerard. Lawton in the corner turning. Now back to Wallace. Put it right out in front. Gerard knocked it down with some neat work. Now back to the left point. Desrosiers. Drive, and that deflected wide. Gerard in behind the net, off the glass, over the glass. Stoppage in play. And good no call there by Derek Martin, I think, and a delay. We got the low glass here at Cincinnati. Good look at Brian Lawton.
Yeah,
Lawton arguing the call, but
any chance anyways, Mike, you take the puck and you shoot it on the glass and it goes over. I mean, it's pretty much there in black and white. But if he was to flip it over the glass without touching the glass itself, then it's very possible he can get a delay of the penalty.
14:42 to go in the third. 51 seconds to go in the penalty to Dave Moylan. Four to 2. Kalamazoo Wings have the lead. Now, indeed, we were right in that call. Alan Heppel getting the second Cincinnati goal, we're told. 4-2, Wings on top. Boy, the penalty killers got to get going now. Cincinnati scores another one. We got some problems.
Yeah, we can't afford to get... so we got the insurance goal right now of 2-goal lead, so we got to make sure we keep that lead.
Puck along the boards, right point, deflected away by Tim Leonard. Puck went back into the Cincinnati end. Now in behind the goal. Now Lawton out of his own end. Now dropped it back to Flickle, to Heffel. And Lenardon will play it back into the Cincinnati zone. 4:15 to go in the third. New center, long pass, Medill over the line. Torkey has got it, cleared it along the boards. Now right point it goes to Heppel. Now side of the goal, Straub came up with it, and the puck went to the Cincinnati end. Penalty is over to Moylan. Wings kill it off. Fourth power play chance for Cincinnati, and the Wings penalty killing unit's done a great job. Now right side, here's Lawrence. Trying to catch up a pass in the Cincinnati zone, back on the touch. Shaughnessy. Icing call. Let's take another timeout. It's 4-2. Kalamazoo of the Kalamazoo Wing Television Network.
For a snow thrower that will handle any snowfall, we suggest a Toro Power Curve. They're lightweight, easy to handle, and throw snow up to 30 feet. So they're perfect for those times when it really comes down. See the complete line of Toro Power Curve snow throwers at these Toro dealers.
Back at Cincinnati. Wings with a 4-2 lead here in the third. Puck went in the Cincinnati Cyclone zone. Back after Tour on the touch. It's another icing call on the Kalamazoo Wings.
It's got to be pretty important, Mike, I think, for Kalamazoo to go ahead and start putting a little more pressure in the Cincinnati zone again and take away the heat from Torquia. He's been playing extremely well so far, but again, anything can happen if all of a sudden you close that gap to 4-3.
I'd like to thank Robin Hook down below us, voice of the Western Michigan University Broncos, and I mean, he is the voice of those guys. He does every sport imaginable. Does a great job. Robin filling in tonight, the Kalamazoo Wing Radio Network.
I'd prefer it if you guys weren't
13:25 to go in the third. 4-2 Kalamazoo Wings have the lead. Big face-off here in the wing zone. Cox comes on along with Tyre and Hareen up front. Melrose for the Wings out of his own end. Cox chased him along the boards. Now Tyre back in over the line. Wings Paul Gerard broke it up. Kennedy, good outlet pass. Good pass. McGowan to Lawrence. To set up a 2-on-1. Lawrence over the line. He scores! Mark Lawrence, that's a huge goal for the Wings. Cal McGowan makes the play here in the neutral zone to set up the 2-on-1.
I think Galupa wasn't quite sure what Mark Lawrence was going to do with that puck. He had kind of an option to throw it across the ice or take the shot, and Mark Lawrence elected to take the shot and made the right move at this point in time. Put it on the right side of Galupa. And a big goal. What an added bonus the Kalamazoo Wings have got when they call up Mark Lawrence from Claude Noel's team down in Dayton.
Boy, he has been outstanding. There's another icing call. Let's take another timeout. 12:56 to go in the third. 5-2 Kalamazoo here in the Kalamazoo Wing Television Network.
People don't stay at La Quinta Inns just because they happen to see one everywhere they go. Although, it is a convenient excuse. Call 1-800-531-5900. La Quinta Inns, America's hotel value.
Back at Cincinnati, Mike Miller and Neil Meadmore with you. 5-2, Wings have the lead. Wings' last win, by the way, was our last televised game in Peoria, the 22nd of January. Last road win for Kalamazoo. Wings have been playing great at home, though. They've won 8 of their last 9. Nemeth over the line for the Wings to Mitchell. That's a dangerous pass there, but the Wings are able to hold it in. Now in the corner, Wings center again. Puck along the boards. James Black's got it. Back to the point to Tom Nemeth. Nemeth getting involved. Now dropped it back to Black. There's Black, side of the goal for Nemeth. Tom Nemeth for Kalamazoo. Now back to James Black. In the corner it goes. They battle for it along the boards. And Cincinnati will try to clear. Black held it in for the Wings. Put it out front. Chris Nelson knocked it down. Ahead to Bill Grain. Cincinnati over the line. And dumping the puck into the Kalamazoo Wing zone was Kerr. Now right point. Here's Nelson. Shot! Torquay to save. Got the blocker on it. Wings Nemeth now will just flip it back into the Cincinnati zone. 11 minutes, 51 seconds to go here in the third. 5-2 Kalamazoo. Dave Moylan in behind the net. Played it on the left side for Kip Miller. He'll deflect to center. Taking over on the Cincinnati defense was Alan Heppel. He'll play it to the wing zone. Moylan broke up the play. Now Miller cleared the zone back to center. Lawton over the line to Kerr. Here's Kerr along the boards. Dumped it in behind the goal for Lawton. In from the left point is Tour. His shot deflected on, and Torquay made the save. Wings clear the zone back to center. 11:17 to go in the third. Wings have built a 5-2 lead in this one. Now down the left side, a couple of moves by Lawless over the line. Shot Torquay is save, and grabs on and holds on. A guy you talked about, Lawless, a couple of moves there.
Look at that, Paul Lawless. He can dangle that puck there, and he's showing some pretty impressive moves right there, and kind of showing the kids a couple of tricks on how to handle that puck and making a couple of head moves there with the puck and got up a pretty quick shot.
Corky of the save. Puck went straight up in the air, and Mike grabbed it with the glove hand. It is coming down right there. Great camera work. And Buddy Brett in behind the glass. 11:06 to go in the third. Paul Gerard out there for the Wings. Lawton in to take the draw against McGowan. From the draw, Wallace another shot, and that deflected up in the seats of stoppage and play. Only game tonight in the IHL. NHL scores. Last report, Montreal leading St. Louis 1-0. Edmonton over the Quebec Nordiques at the Le Colisée in Quebec 3-2. Washington shutting out the Islanders on the island 3-0 in the second period. And the Devils at the Igloo tonight in Pittsburgh. That one's tied 1-1. Calgary at San Jose tonight, no report. Late starter. And Winnipeg at Ottawa tonight, and the Peg beating the Senators by a score of 3-0. McGowan and Lawton again in the circle. McGowan had a little conversation there with our linesman. Tour comes in and on the face-off. Left point, Al Tour tried to hold it in. Wings start back and another 2-on-1. Kennedy over the line, shot. McGowan, rebound, Lawrence banged it away. Wings couldn't come up with another great chance for the Wings. Right point, Gerard. Wrist shot knocked down out in front. Wings held it in. Here's Mike Kennedy. Over skating, now centering. And Lawless will try to clear the zone. McGowan held it in. Right point, Gerard. Took a return pass. McGowan, now to Lawrence. Now turning with it, McGowan. And we got one going here. I think it's Tour and Kennedy. And Gerard came in and grabbed onto Heppel along the boards. Al Tour went after somebody, and I think it could have been Melrose, Kennedy. There goes Al off.
Well, Mike, I just figured it's just going to be a matter of time before something like this happened. Kalamazoo taking total control of the hockey game here. And you're on an 11-game losing streak. What else are you going to do? I mean, they got the guys like Dennis Desrosiers coaching the team here, and you know, he's got the horse to go out and play a physical style play here, and you just knew it was a matter of time. Especially Al Tour's having, you know, a pretty tough game tonight and getting burned on a few plays here. I think he's just venting some of his anger tonight.
Exactly the case, Neil. Tour going after the rookie Kennedy. 10:28 to go in the third period. It's 5-2. Kalamazoo. Penalty calls coming up.
Overhead Doors garage door openers and accessories save you time, money, and energy while providing convenience and protection for your family. If you already have an automatic door opener, for safety reasons, it should be inspected and serviced regularly. Call today to have a service professional visit your home for a complete inspection and information about our newest security features.
Look for the ribbon, look for the name, the original Overhead Door.
Overhead Door. For convenience and security, our name sets the standard.
Now back at Cincinnati, Todd Flickle, the captain, having words with Derek Martin. Wings are going to have a 4-minute power play opportunity. Right call, Neil, and I think you hit the nail on the head. Frustration by Cincinnati at this point in time.
Well, Al just left the game there for, I don't know if it's repairs or what, Mike. That might have started the whole thing when maybe Kennedy might have got a stick a little high, might have cut Al Tour in the face, but it looks like he went off for maybe some repairs, or at least at this point in time anyways, Mike. I haven't heard Alvin getting any misconduct at all, or game misconduct, so.
Paul Wallace not happy. There's Blaine Stoughton, the assistant coach of the Cincinnati Cyclones. Of course, Dennis Desrosiers behind there as well, the head coach of Cincinnati. There's Paul Wallace again. Not happy. Talking to Shaughnessy.
Blaine Stoughton, the assistant
Kalamazoo
coach.
Wings will go on the power play for 4 minutes.
Blaine Stoughton, the assistant coach for the Cincinnati Cyclones there, I think was a former 50-goal scorer for the, I do believe in the WHA days, the Cincinnati Stingers. Another former Winnipeg native.
You guys are from everywhere. That's how to Winnipeg. Paul Gerard out there, another one. Kalamazoo's second power play chance of the night. They're 0 for their previous one. 5-2 lead. Tour gets the double minor. High sticking and roughing at 9:32. And puck went to the Cincinnati zone. Flickles on top of it in behind the net. There's a look at James Black. 10:18 to go in period number 3. Well, it'd be a very big win here for this Kalamazoo Wing club tonight. Still some time remaining, though. I remember the Wings at one point in time almost doubling the Cincinnati club up in shots, but right now they stand 32-29. So Cincinnati has battled back in this one, but the Wings got that 3-goal cushion again. James Black, Doug Baralt, Yves Haru up front for the Wings. Your point men are Mitchell and Nemeth. Right point, Tom Nemeth from the face-off. Left point, Mitchell, now to James Black in the circle. Back to the point, Nemeth a shot right on Galupo's save. He'll hold on, keep the face-off in the Cincinnati Cyclone zone.
A couple of the young kids called up again earlier on from Dayton there. One of the guys right here, Tom Nemeth there, looking pretty impressive tonight. Handling that puck there, looks like an old pro, Mike. Got quite a blast there from the point. Mike Galupo again with another save. The other kid we're talking about here has popped in a couple goals tonight, number 13 and 14, Mark Lawrence. The shot of Bill Inglis right there.
Bill's got the gum going.
Yeah, feeling a little more at ease tonight, I think. Knowing he's got a 3-goal cushion and on the power play with 3.5 minutes left.
Revitalized Bill Inglis. Believe me, energy man we've been calling him. Really's got back into the coaching.
Well, he's got a lot of pride. I mean, anytime you run a team and you see it not perform up to its capabilities, and you feel responsible anyways, Mike. But you know when you can't put the blades on and you're not really behind the bench, but now he is, and he's taking a little more pride, I think, and it's showing back to. I think a lot of the guys have more respect for him as a coach, not taking anything away from Bob Hoffmeyer in the past, but I think Bill's been around a lot longer, and I think has got a little more experience, and I think the guys are looking up to him for more leadership.
3 minutes, 26 seconds to go in the power play. Play has been whistled down. We'll keep the face off of the Cincinnati zone again. I'd like to remind everybody, Wings home Friday and Saturday nights. Sunday back down to Fort Wayne, so 3 games in 3 days again for Kalamazoo.
Yeah, the thing of it is, you never know what Kalamazoo can go. You know, you start to get on the roll late in the year. I know it's hard to turn it on and off, but you know, the guys have the confidence nowadays going in to each and every game, knowing that they have a chance to win the game. Where I think maybe a month, 2 months ago, I think they were quite unsure going into any game at all. What the potential was going to be, or the outcome was going to be of the game, but now I think the confidence is definitely there.
On the face-off, controlled by James Black. Here's Black now, back to the point to Nemeth. Back to James Black. Right point Nemeth, left point it goes, drive, Mitchell Fan. Put it in behind the net, Flickle will clear it to the near boards. Now the puck came to center. Mitchell to Tommy Nemeth. Pass to James Black, back to Nemeth at center. Left wing pass Baralt, that didn't click. Puck went to the Cincinnati zone, and now James Black's got it at his home blue line to center. Now to Baralt over the line. Dougie Baralt walking side of the goal. Back to the left point it goes to Straub. A drive, he scores! Brian Straub, and for everybody in Bozeman, Montana that's tuned in, Straub makes it 6-2. Power play goal.
Well, nothing fancy about that shot, Mike. Todd Flickle coming in from Cincinnati, coming out towards the point to block the shot, and I think kind of helped screen Galupo. But Strauber did some blast at a shot there, and then goes Flickle in front of the puck there, and I think it just kind of crept by, caught Galupo kind of off guard there. The puck's not past him for goal number 6, and that'll pretty much do it, I think, for the game.
Wings now in their 3rd power play chance as the 1 minor to 2 is over. We start the other one, and got a 5-on-4 again. We'll dump it to the Cincinnati zone. 6-2 Wings, and put this one in the win column. Wings will snap their 7-game road losing streak unless Cincinnati pulls a miracle off here. Tim Leonard ahead to Moylan. Up the right side to Lenardon, now moving in over the line. Out of Trail, British Columbia, Tim Leonard. Dad played for the old Trail Smoke Eaters. Senior hockey that won a national, or I think a world title at one time. 8:18 to go in the third. 6-2. The goaltender was Seth Martin. Shows you how old I'm getting. Know
Seth
that.
Martin.
Paul Gerard.
Parts unknown.
Does anybody know who he is?
I haven't heard of him.
Probably.
Was that with the Tambourine family?
Could have been, yeah. Play along the boards. Now Gerard, side of the net. Miller, now rebound. Fired wide by Gerard. I might have been able to put that one in. Lawrence, left point. Now to Melrose. Back to Miller, side of the goal. Here we go again. Ryer drive, put it wide. All Kalamazoo now. Melrose, left point to Miller, top of the circle. Paul Gerard. Paulie, you'll be seeing that one in his nightmares tonight. Now on the board. Paul Gerard. To Ryer. Ryer into the corner to Melrose. Melrose in behind the goal, out in front to Miller. A shot, Gallupo the save. Oh, hold on. 17 seconds to go on the wing power play. 7:22 to go in the third, and after Cincinnati uses up their 17 seconds in the power play, we'll go for a break, but let's take one now. It's 6-2. Kalamazoo.
People don't stay at La Quinta Inns just because of the big, quiet rooms. It's just something we've heard. Call 1-800-531-5900. La Quinta Inns, America's hotel value.
7:22 to go in the third, 17 seconds to go in the power play. 6-2, Wings have the lead. Mike Ryer moves in to take the draw. Talking to Mike today. His dad played with Bill Goldsworthy, believe it or not. He had a picture as those guys were voted the best athletes in their age group back when they were 13 years old. And Mr. Ryer's got a picture of he and Bill Goldsworthy in a newspaper. And I believe it was either Kitchener or Niagara Falls growing up together. Mike Torquia for the Wings cleared it off the glass up into the seats. That hit the glass, I think, didn't it?
I thought it did, but I think Mike Martin might be calling a penalty on Torquia.
Derek Martin's going to make the call.
A delay of the game penalty on Torquia, but
must have not hit the glass. Delay a game for Torquia. Cincinnati will go on the power play. Time of the penalty is 13:05. We'll be selecting our gem of the game, and I'd like to remind everybody that's brought to you by Landmark Jewelers. The Landmark Jewelers gem of the game. And we'll be selecting a play. Landmark Jewelers, of course, is your neighborhood jewelry store. Personal service in a private, comfortable setting. It's in East Edge Plaza, the corner of Sprinkle and Gall Roads. That's the Landmark Jewelers gem of the game. We'll be selecting that tonight.
Well, I think they're just trying to give Kalamazoo a chance to improve on their penalty killing percentage here. That's all, Mike.
I hope so. 0 for 4 tonight for Cincinnati. This is their 5th power play. And the Wings will send a penalty killing unit out there of Derek Smith. Doug Burrell. And back on the defense, Nemeth and Mitchell. Offside at the line there as they say Nelson couldn't hold it in. Close call. Torquia delay a game. At 13:05. I don't know who's serving that over there in the box. I can't quite see. But Cincinnati has the power play. Bill Inglis and the troops. Kalamazoo will pick up their 22nd win tonight. And 29 losses and a league high 9 overtime losses. Here comes another penalty. Now we're going to make it interesting. It's going to be a high sticking call on who do we got?
Doug Burrell, yeah. Dougie Burrell, a chance of getting his 9th goal on a penalty killing here is not going to look too good. Sitting in that box. In fact, he's only a couple shy short of Brent Jarrett's mark.
exactly right. 11 shorthanded goals, a big record held by Brent Jarrett. So a two-man advantage for 1:32 for Cincinnati. Smith, Gerard, and Melrose out there. Watton, along with Kerr and Wallace up front. Dagenet and Nelson on the points. Dagenet, right point Nelson, left point Dagenet. Right point Nelson, side of the goal, centering pass, Kerr was there. He was parked at the side of the goal. 5-on-3, Cincinnati. Wallace, top of the circle, played it side of the net, now back to Wallace, shot, Torquia saves, Smith will clear the length of the ice. 5:57 to go in the third. 6-2. Kalamazoo. Left wing boards over the line. Kerr. Now back to the point. Nelson. Side of the goal now for Lawton. 47 seconds to go in the two-man advantage. Lawton, right point Nelson. Lawton to Nelson again. Shot! Torquia threw the right leg out. Left point Dagenet. Right point Nelson. Now to Lawton. To Nelson. Drive! Fired wide. Dagenet operating on the left wing boards. Right point Nelson. Here's Nelson now to Lawton. Drive, he scores! 6-3, Brian Lawton. Bad angle too.
Yeah, Mike, they're just kind of sitting back, taking block shots at Mike Torquia, passing the puck back and forth between Brian Lawton and Mr. Nelson, going back and forth there. And Torquia made a couple of great saves off Nelson from point blank right in the slot, but finally caught up with on the short side too. Probably is one that he should have saved, if anything at all. Made a number of outstanding saves throughout the whole game here, but that one kind of snuck past him.
The penalty to Torquia for delay is over. We still have 43 seconds to go in the Baralt. High sticking penalty, so Cincinnati picks up the power play. That makes them 1 for 5, and this is their 6th power play. Chance of the night.
Well, Cincinnati can get one here. Mike might make it interesting here. Coming up to the last just under 5 minutes left in the game here.
Norton for the Cyclones over the line. Put it in behind the goal for Medill. Right point Flickle. 14 seconds to go. Baralt penalty. Medill drive. Torquia save. Puck loose in the crease. And Torquia drops on it. And here we go. Norton, Moylan, Medill. Host of others. Medill wants a piece of Moylan. And we'll take another look at that one, but it was Torquia in the original save here. Dropping down, and there's a stick that came up and hit Mitchell. Norton came in. Now Medill went after Mitchell. Moylan came in to the rescue.
Well, I think Evil Roy just kind of protected the guys in front of the net there. That's all. And he kind of got the sticks up high with Mr. Norton. And they had a few disagreements. And there was Jeff Medill just trying to protect his teammate. And like I said before, Jeff Medill's kind of he's a pretty rambunctious kid. They used to play up in Utica in the American League. And he's not only known for, again, his talents go scoring goals there, and he's leading the team now, but he's always there, and he's showing his leadership there, just trying to help out his teammate.
He's one of those rare guys that, again, is a great point, Neil. Both has that physical presence and comes into tonight's game among the goal-scoring leaders in the International Hockey League. In fact, he's second with 36, so he's the whole package. On the face-off, knocked away again. Baralt's penalty's over. Puck came to center. They'll drain the loose puck. 4:21 to go in the third. Both clubs are at full strength. And Moylan now will skate back into his own end for Kalamazoo, and he's just going to flip at the length of the ice. And is that going to make the end line? Nope, they're going to wave it off. Mickle back after it. Here comes Cincinnati to center. Medill spun around. Well, looks like Cincinnati's going to drop their 12th straight. And they really now have their work cut out for them to make the playoffs. In fact, their chance is very, very slim to make the Turner Cup playoffs. At center ice, Melrose played it along the boards. They jam for it. Heppel's got it. Medill, 3:35 to go. Third period, Medill to center. Pass to Tyre, deflected on. Torquia will grab and hold on. Let's take a timeout. 3 minutes, 28 seconds to go in the third. 6-3 Kalamazoo here on the Kalamazoo Wing Television Network.
At Play It Again Sports, we encourage recycling. Play It Again Sports. We buy and sell used sports equipment. No matter what kind of used sports equipment you have, Play It Again Sports will pay you money for it. If your kids have grown or if you've changed sports, bring your old equipment in. We'll buy it and put it back in the game.
Back at Cincinnati, 6-3, Wings have the lead. 3:26 to go in the third. From the face-off, Torquia forced to make a save. Cox involved. And the puck cleared to center. Al Tour on the defense. A couple tough ones out there now. And Tour and Cox. Harin's got it. Sergei Harin hit by Melrose in behind the net. 3 minutes to go in the third. 3-goal lead, Wings, 6-3. Gerard at center. Over the line with McGowan, that's offside. Well, and one of our new sponsors, I'd like to welcome J&B Tree Service. Remember, they sponsor Kalamazoo Wings televised hockey. J&B Professional Tree Service is fully insured, safe, clean, and dependable. J&B specializes in climbing, removal, topping, trimming, land clearing, stump removal, landscape chips, and seasoned firewood. J&B Professional Tree Service. Now listen to this. The professionals for less. That says it all. In Kalamazoo and the surrounding area, remember J&B Tree Service. 2 minutes, 48 seconds to go in the third. Wings with a 3-goal lead, 6-3. Medill to center, now to Watton. Over the line, Nemeth came up with it, in behind the goal. Kip Miller turning. Now to Mitchell at center. Roy Mitchell in over the Cincinnati line, dumped it in the corner. Nelson tried to clear, Wings held it in. Centering pass came out. Puck along the boards. Right point, Mitchell. And here comes Medill to center. Check that, Lawless over the line. To Nelson, he put it in behind the goal. Right point, Nelson a shot, he fired it wide. Left point, there's Shaughnessy a shot. Torquia drops to his knees. Makes the save, the Wings will clear it the length of the ice. Shaughnessy back to the touch with 1:52 to go in the third period.
I know Jeff Medill has talked to me before the game there, and he's going to become a free agent at the end of the year, Mike. And I don't know, he's 20 years old and he's getting up there in age, but he's a definite asset for somebody anyways, and he's always there for leadership. So I don't know if Minnesota want to look at him or not, but he's available, and again, he said he's going to go ahead and see who's interested in the services next year.
He's a legitimate goal scorer at this level. 1:49 to go in the third. 6-3. Kalamazoo has the lead. The puck is in the wing zone. This hockey game, a production of the Lawrence Production Company in Galesburg. Do a great job. To thank everybody for their help. Puck up into the seats, stoppage in play. Guys dropping programs and everything else to grab that souvenir. 1:28 to go in the third. Mike Torquia, the wing goaltender. He's played well tonight. This is his 32nd game of the year. He'll pick up his 13th win against 10 losses and 7 overtime losses. Six to 3, 1:28 to go in the third. Boy, I'm telling you, Meter, we got to televise them all. We go undefeated.
Yeah, what is that, 9 out of 10 points coming up?
9 out of 10
not bad.
televised games. We should have had 10 out of 10. We had a 6-3 lead in Kalamazoo the day after Christmas when we televised, and believe me, should have won that one. 1:17 to go in the third. Well, we've seen sometime tonight after the game our gem of the game. A lot to choose from, some nice goals, and also be selecting our Handelstein and gift star of the game. He'll be talking to Scotty Bud Melvin. On the face-off, Shaughnessy. He'll play it into the wing zone. Now the puck is cleared back into the Cincinnati end. Nickelback after. 1 minute to go. Last minute of play, and here the third period. Tire over the line. This place is almost empty right now. They've bolted. They've left. They're gone. Knox at center to Mario Tire. Puck into the wing zone. Straub back after it.
Hey, is this thing on?
Played still deep in the wings end. 36 seconds to go. Tire in the corner. Cincinnati jeopardy of losing their 12th in a row. Now Cox has got it. Centering pass. 20 seconds to go in the third. Backhand to the corner. Hareen along the board. Sergei Hareen. Black for the Wings will clear it to the Cincinnati end. They wave off the icing call. 5 seconds to go. Up the left side to Heppel. And this one's over. The Kalamazoo Wings win it tonight here at Cincinnati by a score of 6-3 and move into second place in the IHL Central Division past Indianapolis, and in the fourth place overall in the Eastern Conference, that final playoff spot. Big win, Neil.
Yeah, it really was, Mike. It's always nice to win any game on the road at all, but especially after you've lost 7 in a row and finally break that spell and going into the weekend here, it's got to be encouraging.
And the Wings congratulating goaltender Mike Torkia. Jeff Stolp off the bench to give Mike that familiar pat on the pads. We'll be back with more here from Cincinnati. The final again, 6-3 Kalamazoo here in the Kalamazoo Wings Television Network.
We were trying to solve the mystery of beechwood aging. Beechwood aging isn't some huge mysterious secret. It's a nearly forgotten example of the brewmaster's art. So expensive, so time-consuming that Bud's the only brewer that still does it.
If it's not beechwood aged, it's just not right.
Okay, so how do you make beer if it's not beechwood aged?
Yeah.
Some things are better left unknown.
He tried to score! Over the line of Beckett, he scored! Wings 2-on-1, Thomas zone. Throw and he scored! Southwest Michigan's team, your Kalamazoo Wings. On the boards, and go off the skate, picked up a loose puck, walked right out in front, rebound, they score!
That is where WFAT at 96.5 FM. WFAT is Kalamazoo's only radio station for good times and great oldies from the 60s. Tune in WFAT at 96.5 and become a Fat Cat. We've got the best 50s and 60s rock and lots of roll.
Fat 96.5.
The Kalamazoo Wings Television Hockey Network is brought to you by Pizza Chef. Pizza Chef gourmet pizzas are made with only wholesome ingredients and offer pizza lovers a healthy and satisfying difference. Tasty subs, tossed salads, and delicious garlic bread round out our tempting menu. Pizza Chef, the pizza you can score with.
Driving one save, made, they score!
Visit Pizza Chef at 4312 South Westnedge, next to Blockbuster Video.
Introducing Wallenwood Springs Golf Club, Grand Rapids' newest championship golf course. Designed by Jerry Matthews, Wallenwood Springs opens in May. Make the right club choice. Play Wallenwood Springs Golf Club in Jenison. A tradition of excellence continues. Lake Donster Golf Club is now open. Lake Donster is a premier course, home of the Vantage Classic Super Seniors Pro-Am, a public course in a classic country club style. Lake Donster Golf Club in Plainwell.
Well, back at Cincinnati, the Kalamazoo Wings win a big one tonight by a score of 6-3. The Wings snap a 7-game losing streak on the road, and that's certainly a big win tonight for the Kalamazoo Wings Hockey Club. Neil, we talked about it, and the Kalamazoo Wings certainly will return back to Wings Stadium in Kalamazoo this weekend, as the Kalamazoo Wings have upcoming home games. Of course, on let's check our schedule here. The Kalamazoo Wings return home for a game Friday night against Milwaukee and Saturday against Peoria. And the Fort Wayne Comets will provide the opposition Sunday on the road for the Kalamazoo Wings Hockey Club. But Neil, certainly a big win for Kalamazoo here tonight.
Yeah, you got to give a lot of credit to the whole Kalamazoo team itself. There wasn't really any particular star at all, Mike, on the team itself. You know, Mark Lawrence popped in a couple of goals and he played extremely well. But I mean, you got to start right from the goaltending. Torquia, Mike, played an extremely important role initially. He didn't have that many shots when Kalamazoo was leading the game 1-0, but the shots that he did have were crucial. They're right in the slot there, point blank shots and all. He came up big when he had to.
Well, our Landmark Jewelers Gem of the Game, certainly a feature we hope you enjoy. I'd like to remind everybody that at Landmark Jewelers, they are the place that is your neighborhood jewelry store. Personal service in a private, comfortable setting. It's located at East Edge Plaza, the corner of Sprinkle and Gall Road. And here is our Landmark Jeweler Gem of the Game. And we'll be having that for you just in a moment. Again, Landmark Jewelers sponsoring our Gem of the Game in this big 6-3 win, and here it is. Now the puck went along the boards here, and then a centering pass came out, and it's the Mark Lawrence goal who stuffed it in behind, of course, Galupo, and that was a big goal for the Kalamazoo Wings Hockey Club. And we understand, we just received word that Mark Lawrence is going to be our Handel, Stein, and Giff star of the game. He's skating out there now. We'll give Scotty Bud Melvin a chance to regroup and talk to him. But the Kalamazoo Wings, and it's a pretty good hockey player, a former pretty good hockey player, coming to Wing Stadium this weekend, Neil.
Yeah, Mr. Gordie Howe's coming to town here, so I think the fans, I think it's kind of his last trip here around the horn here. So the fans, if you get a chance to come out, I think it'd be a great chance to see him in his final tour.
Well, Gordie Howe, Mr. Hockey, will be at Wing Stadium on Friday night when the Wings take on Milwaukee. Gordie Howe will be at the game as part of his 65th birthday celebration tour. 65 years old. It seemed like the guy played till he was 65. But we are going downstairs now. We've selected our Handel, Stein, and Gift Shop star of the game. Handel, Stein, and Gift Shop at 7523 South Westnage and Portage. Beer paraphernalia, collectibles, steins, neons, and mirrors. Our Handel, Stein, and Gift Shop star of the game. Let's go downstairs now with Scotty Bud Melvin.
Thanks, Mike. These guys almost didn't want to let our star of the game out of the locker room. Mark Lawrence, he is the star, got a couple of goals tonight. Congratulations. Tell us about that second one.
Well, it was a 2-on-1. I was just going down the wing, and even in practice we always shooting the puck, so I just shot the puck, and Sandy Galupo was having troubles with the low one, so I just let it go along the ice and it went in.
You got to feel good, Dayton coach Claude Noel coming into town, checking out some of his boys, some of the guys up in Kalamazoo. Nice to play well in front of him, huh?
Yeah, Claude's a great guy. He's a great coach, too, and it's always great to see him. He's a good guy.
Now, you had 2 goals tonight, your 13th and 14th, 35 games now with the Kalamazoo Wings. Did you think you'd be at this point now up with the Wings?
I really didn't know what to expect this year. I was up and down. I had a tough start, and I just got my stuff together down in Dayton, and here I am, and I'm just playing each day the way it comes.
Now, good showing tonight for the Dayton crew. Yourself, a couple of goals. Also, Tommy Nemeth got a goal, and Mike Ryer as well. Good showing all around for you guys down in Dayton. And really, we shouldn't even say that you're from Dayton anymore. You've been up here most of the year. All the guys playing well together, the guys from Dayton?
Yeah, well, the guys from up from Dayton, we just come up here and we try to do our best and work as hard as we can out there, and we get our chances, and we'll capitalize on what we can do.
Any indication from the coaching ranks, either Billy Inglis, Claude Noel, whoever, the Minnesota organization, where you're going to be the rest of the year?
We have no idea. They don't tell us anything like that.
They don't tell you anything like that?
No, nothing like that. We just come every day to the rink and play hockey.
I'll see if I can get an answer out of him a little bit later on. Now, any part of your game you want to work on? Anything on the team as far as that goes that you'd like to see you guys work on?
We've had a tough month. We've had a lot of games this month, so just every night we just got to go out and bump and grind, and when we get our chances, we got to bury what we get and got to go out each night and work hard.
There he is, star of the game, Mark Lawrence. He got a couple of goals tonight. Congratulations to you. Good luck to you guys this weekend.
Thanks a lot.
All right, we're coming back. Plenty of highlights, that's for sure. 6-3 the final. The Wings win it. We'll be back on the Kalamazoo Wings Television Network.
Visit Vicksburg Chrysler Plymouth Dodge Jeep Eagle, Michigan's largest volume full-line Chrysler dealer. For car buying made fun again. Choose from over 200 new and used vehicles in stock. See our huge selection of minivans, Jeep Cherokees, and Dodge Dakota trucks. Our courteous and professional staff is standing by to put you in the right car or truck. Vicksburg Chrysler Plymouth Dodge Jeep Eagle is located just 10 minutes south of the Kalamazoo Airport on Portage Road. Call us at 649-2000. We're a Pentastar Award dealer. We make car buying fun again.
The Plan America Center, located at Cal C Credit Union's Lover's Lane office, is a financial management program designed to help our members develop and achieve their financial goals. Remember, the right answers for planning your future are right where you belong.
Cal C Credit Union is our family, serving yours.
People don't stay at La Quinta Inns just because they happen to see one everywhere they go. Although, it is a convenient excuse. Call 1-800-531-5900. La Quinta Inns, America's hotel value.
Is your Fiat finicky, Mazda misfiring, Honda hesitant, BMW busted, or your Toyota temperamental? At Foreign Auto Parts, they have the parts you need to keep your foreign car running right. They stock Haynes manuals, BAP Geon imported parts, Boga shock absorbers, NGK spark plugs, and much, much more. So if your Nissan's noisy, your Jaguar jittery, or your Saab sluggish, come to Foreign Auto Parts with two convenient locations, 453 West Kilgore and 8126 West Main.
Well, back at Cincinnati, Mike Miller and Neil Meadmore with you here. I can answer that question, Scotty Bud Melvin. Ask Mark Lawrence. I'll tell you where he's going to be the rest of the year. It's either going to be in Kalamazoo or Minnesota. Yeah, he keeps playing like that. A great performance tonight, of course, for Mark Lawrence, who picked up a pair of goals. And that whole line, I think, Neil, with McGowan and Lawrence, and over on the left side, Mike Kennedy. These guys are the youngsters, and believe me, they've been something else.
Yeah, I think it's really encouraging anyways, and a lot of credit given to Claude Noel down on Dayton there to get the guys ready to, for the International Hockey League, play of hockey. Every one of those guys have played up to their ability and then give more than what is probably being asked for. They come up here and they're real hungry, and it shows out there. They come to play every night. 6-3
win tonight. Many portions of our telecast are brought to you in part by Gilmore's Department Stores. Consider them yours. 6-3 the final tonight from the Cincinnati Gardens. A sparse crowd for Cincinnati, 4,927. 6-3 the Kalamazoo Wings win it here tonight. I'd like to thank everybody. Before we leave, we'll give you the final shots on goal. The Wings, believe it or not, were outshot in this game 38-36, but mainly because of the many power play opportunities in the third by Cincinnati. Torquia picks up the win. Mike on the evening made 33 saves. Sandy Galupo, who played pretty good, made 32 saves for the Cyclones. 6-3 Wings win it. Wings had 14 minutes in penalties. Cincinnati 8. Neil, always good seeing you. Great working with you. And again, 9 out of 10 points isn't bad.
No, not at all. No.
Well, the Wings win it tonight by a score of 6-3. I'd like to thank everybody from Lawrence Productions and our cable operators in the Kalamazoo area, the cameramen, the veterans like Kevin Bess and Brett and everybody else, and all the guys in the truck, Todd, John, and of course Tom Bruce, our director, and JD. Thanks for all your help. This is the voice of the Kalamazoo Wings. Mike Miller saying so long, and again the final from Cincinnati. Cincinnati 6, Kalamazoo 3 here on the Kalamazoo Wing Television Network.
Kalamazoo Wings Hockey on the air is brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beer, and Kalamazoo Beer Distributing, La Quinta Motor Inns, Wolverine Lawn and Garden Equipment, Vicksburg Chrysler Plymouth, Pizza Chef, the official pizza of Kalamazoo Wings televised hockey. Calci Credit Union, Kalamazoo Tire Brokers, Best Ford Lincoln Mercury, Pro Golf Discount, Kalamazoo Air Zoo, Overhead Door, All Phase Electric, Play It Again Sports, Gilmore's Department Store, Handelstein and Gift Shop, Landmark Jeweler, Wilkins Auto Body, Lake Doster and Wallenwood Springs Golf Clubs, J&B Professional Tree Service, and Foreign Auto Parts.